Yep. Sound just like him.
I guess I gotta get the chat working, huh?
Yeah, let me know. Is the stream up?
Just started.
Boom. Live stream offline. So how do I share?
Yeah, you haven't got your...
I turned my phone down, but yeah, I haven't got it. No, yeah, I did. I got it just now. There it is. Brittany Lopez was first, he says.
He's always first.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Now we're back together again. La, 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 la. Brittany just sent me a Snapchat of Mr. Poopy Butthole at GameStop for $12.99. The Rick and Morty guy.
Yeah, I know Mr. Poopy Butthole is.
Oh, Morty's $12.99 too. I wonder if he says, "Oh, geez. Oh, geez, Rick. Oh, geez. Oh, geez, geez." First time in a month I've been able to catch the live show.
I've not seen Mr. Roll Tide before.
Yeah, we have.
I don't recognize him. Or Phantom Code. Do you? I don't recognize these fellas.
Phantom
That's
Code?
a
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. All these people have been in here. You don't read the names. West Memphis 17 today.
There we go. That's bad.
17.
Now you are a named individual.
Who?
Corey. He was just a guest a minute ago.
Ah.
Piece of shit guest.
Well, that'll work for a lot of people that are your guys' fans. I'm big down Southern Illinois.
You know, I forgot to preface this with true crime. I guess that would really help.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we are live. We're out there. We're happening.
We're ready to roll, man. We're good. We are.
What's up, Surreal Talkers?
All good in the neighborhood. Y'all remember Corey from our True Crime Chris Benoit episode?
One of our favorites.
Oh yeah. Still best on YouTube.
Boom.
At all of our shows, most viewed.
I bring heat. I'm going to bring more heat today.
Yo. 6KBOWP. Yes. Aloha from Hawaii.
Taking you off.
Hello.
Who's that, Jessica Trudell?
Yeah. Corey Berger, first time in a while.
She might be surprised to know that I knew who that was just from saying Hawaii.
Stalker.
Kavahi, isn't it?
Everett's a stalker. What's up, Corey Berger?
Two of the three horsemen, very true.
Ah.
And you didn't know who Mr. Roll Tide was. What a dick you are.
Roll down Tide.
Yeah, I'm fucking a-hole.
He was obviously a fucking...
Horseman fan, yeah.
Yeah. Who's Mr. Roll Tide? That guy's probably like fucking Team Eric now for sure.
You know, I haven't checked the score on that in a long time.
I'm probably winning.
Probably. You are winning 183 to 178, beating the shit out of me right now.
Really?
5 votes.
What do you know? Corey, what do you think about that that video that I linked in your status today? That Knights of the Old Republic short? That's going to be... if they made a movie about that, I mean...
Okay.
Give it all away.
Don't do that.
I'll give it all away.
Because I'm also Corey.
Oh, yeah, good point. Okay, let's do this. Corey Berger.
Yeah. You burger.
Mr. Burger.
Mr. Berger. Corey Cheese Burger.
That's his...
That's his
Do
middle
you guys
name.
think Pizzagate will be
Cheese.
confirmed soon?
Rennie's trolling right now. He's got to be.
Yep.
Okay, good. That's good. Jesus Christ.
Did you know that they're
'Cause we
actually
keep getting threads like
hang
that
on,
in the
hang
group.
on. FBI is actually actively investigating Comet Ping Pong right now.
Oh, they
I
good
mean,
for
maybe
them.
not right now, like at this second, but like they have an open investigation into Comet Ping Pong now.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good for them.
Good for them.
Good for Comet Ping Pong. They're getting a little bit of
A lot
getting
of
a little bit of
Corys
play.
nowadays. Yeah. Oh yeah. Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Corey Berger, Corey Smith.
Boom.
You know what we should do is to get the
I'm still guest.
Yeah, Everett, you
why
suck.
in the fuck?
Just leave it. Who gives a shit?
No way.
Value.
No, this way I can walk down the street without
production
having to be
value.
bothered. Oh, were you on Surreal Talk this weekend? Dude,
That never happens.
do you know these guys? Do you know the Hicks Brothers Incorporated? And I'll say, I do, sir. And I would appreciate you getting off my lawn and putting on some pants.
Yeah. No shit.
And drop
right.
the fucking nail gun. What's
What
that?
conspiracy
Oh, look
do you
at
think
that.
will come true first? Didn't the FBI also investigate Hillary? Yeah, good, very good point, Warren. Warren says, didn't the FBI also investigate Hillary's emails? Well, yeah, they sure did. But when your husband is Bill Clinton and you can just go on a plane and talk with that Loretta Lynch like right before, nothing's gonna happen. You're all right. Don't worry about it.
All right. So if I'm Bill Clinton or my husband's Bill Clinton, I'm fine.
You're all right if your husband's Bill Clinton. No,
We're
if you're
fine
Bill
and
Clinton,
married.
people will
Hey,
hate
I'm just
you
gonna throw
for
this out
one
there.
reason and love you for
Both from
another.
Arkansas. Just throwing that out there.
Who?
Clinton and Hillary.
Yeah.
Clinton and Hillary?
Yeah, well, the Bill and Hillary.
You know there are
The
people
Clintons.
that don't know that he was president, right?
I don't
the
doubt
fuck
it.
out
I
of
don't
Because
doubt it.
nothing happened before the year 2000 to the young folk.
That's
Oh,
true.
Yeah. That damn
Nothing
millennials.
happened before the year 2016 to me, to be fair. My memory is not what it once was.
Here we go.
It all started back on a Tuesday morning, about 9:43 a.m.
You died on a Tuesday, and I put you under your tree.
I was talking about 9/11.
Oh,
Well,
God.
here we
Oh,
go.
God damn it.
Well, Tuesday's gone, so
Indeed.
that's a song, by the way.
All right, we'll give it like 2 more minutes and we'll go live. Or we'll start the show, rather.
All right. Good old
Woo,
Slick
we got
Willie.
quotes.
What? Wait, Bill Clinton was
Bingo.
the president?
Circular mark sure looks like the butt of the survival knife.
Mhm.
Does it?
It sure does.
The picture I saw was like not really conclusive. But I'll tell you what's weird. We'll get to it. Mark Byers' teeth, the whole thing with that.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one guy down south who has teeth, and he gets them fucking taken out.
Apparently on purpose.
Thank you.
That was a joke, everybody.
His stories there were so good about how the first story was he got into a fight and they got knocked out. And then he got him
code
taken out.
is Doug Hall.
Oh, cool.
How close are we to starting?
Nice.
Like
Yeah,
a
we
minute or
talked
two.
about
We'll wait
some
however
fucked
long
up
you need.
shit,
Want to go to the
Doug.
bathroom or something?
2 seconds.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah, we talked about some fucked up shit, Doug. That was all right though. I still have yet to talk to Everett about that VPN thing, like, mostly because I forgot like the name of it or whatever. No, wait, I got
PIA
it.
VPN is the one I recommend.
No. This is some new shit. that
Oh,
you
I think he sent me a message about it. I
you
just
know
haven't had time to fuck
nothing
with it.
you know nothing about this shit.
I'm a busy president and COO of a major, almost major, and maybe someday major company.
Maybe.
Brr, 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 brr.
I don't like the word major just because of our competitor.
Yeah, good point.
How was the Fortnite tourney? Ooh, snap!
It was not Fortnite, and it did not go.
Two fucking things in one. It was not Fortnite, and it bombed.
Yeah.
It didn't really.
We
bomb.
had some real
just
bad
couldn't-
technical issues.
We could not get the computers to stream at 1080, man. It wouldn't happen.
We ended up getting only 3 of them able to stream out of all
Those were the
of our-
Razors, right?
Yeah, over all of our setups. We couldn't get them working, so we just scrapped it.
We
a fucking bummer,
we
man.
fucking won some Fortnite last night though, and the night before.
Yeah.
Just getting victory.
Second place on
royales all
Fortnite
day,
today.
baby. Yeah,
Before
did.
the show, we
Yeah.
played one. Just, to kind of get out of the... Anyway, you guys about ready?
On fire, Jay says. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. Hold on. One more quick thing I want to do.
Hold on.
I want to hook up the sound to my computer, so if we get a hankering, we can play some of those juicy Mark Byers sound clips.
Oh, my God.
Let's do it.
It's the best shit ever.
Juicy sound
We-
clips are my fave.
We have to have a show. You guys have to have a show just dedicated to sound bites from him.
I actually released a 8.5 minute video the other day. Oh look, it's Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me. an 8.5-minute video the other day on my personal YouTube of me doing Snapchat, the big mouth face guy, and I just saved him for like a year.
It's pretty good.
Jono comes in and Jono's like, man, you should get a web series going or something, man. He's like, that's fucking totally fucking cool, man. It's like, it's just a Snapchat
You probably have the
filter.
worst Jono out of anybody here.
You think so? Well, I mean, I've only known him for like,
you should get
I've only known him for a month and a half, so 2 months.
Well, I mean, you met him last year, but whatever.
Yeah, okay.
You should get your own website and do the big mouth talking guy.
Big mouth Billy Bass.
You know.
Big mouth Billy Badass.
Hey, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, fuck you.
Siphon Everett is the name of that VPN.
Siphon, okay. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Hear anything?
I hear nothing.
God damn it, I did it again.
You didn't even press record, did you?
No, I started recording way out in the middle. All right. Take two, as they say in Revolution.
Take two.
You're listening to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal.
Something's not right, man. Something's not right. Something's bullshit here, and I don't believe it.
Honestly, this crazy shit could be completely possible.
Disclaimer, we reserve the right to be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. You think you know the whole story? Think again.
Now your hosts, Eric and Everett.
Welcome to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal, a lineupmedia.fm production, and we are back. But
What's up, everybody?
It's a little different this week. We've got a...
Welcome back, former guest of this podcast and current but in hiatus host of one of my other podcasts along with me, Three Horsemen Podcast. Welcome back to the show, Corey Smith.
There you go.
You know...
I know, you wish I wouldn't have said that last part, wouldn't you?
What's that?
The Smith part.
Why?
I don't know. We'll just keep you anonymous, but I just fucked that up. He's from Bethalto. No.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that's going
His
to cause
credit card
any
numbers
problem.
are this, birthday, social security.
I would just like to say, you know, to be in the presence of greatness,
Yeah, well, you know, not a lot of people get that. But.
that is the Hicks Brothers Incorporated.
I wouldn't say great.
Which you guys really, I mean, Surreal Talk, you guys don't understand. You can't even walk out the back door of this studio without mobs looking for autographs, looking to get their theories across to these gentlemen.
There's got to be 300 pairs of underwear just tossed at the back door of this place, and you just lost your camera.
That's all right.
And it's all men's underwear, which is
It is.
odd.
It is.
That's fine. I
I
mean,
mean, take it or leave it.
you
know,
wash it.
Tomato.
10%, 20% of those fit me, 10%, 20% fit him, the rest go to charity.
Right. And, you know.
I've recently started bringing a big stick with me to beat the people away. Like, get the
To beat 'em
fuck
off?
back. Yeah, I was going to try to avoid saying beat them off, but, you know, what are you
Were
going
ya?
to do?
Is that what you were going to do?
I didn't want to
He
avoid
was
that.
going to do that. No, but hey, thanks for having me in, fellas. You know, I have not been inside this studio since July. June?
Really?
Oh,
July.
man, congratulations.
Have not even stepped. I know. It's nice. But it's good to be back, boys. Thanks for having me. Thanks for finally doing the show I proposed.
Yeah, for about a year now, Corey's been like,
He's
hey,
been
when
on
are
it.
we gonna do this West Memphis 3 show? I'm like, well, you know, one of these fucking days, whenever we get around to actually caring about that. But that time has come.
Yes.
And that day is today.
That day is.
It is the anniversary, 17 years ago today. In fact, it was November 11th, 2000. That's it.
That what?
Nothing. That was just the day.
There was just a
17
day?
years ago today. There was no
There was a
anniversary.
time.
There was a day 17 years ago today. Good to know.
Pretty sure it was.
We really
November
timed these
11th.
things out.
We got that down. So what are we talking about today? Again, West Memphis 3. For a lot of you out there, probably know about. For the few that don't, when was it? 1993. 3 kids were killed in West Memphis, Arkansas. Bodies dumped in a small little wooded area. In
May
unincorporated-
5th, 1993.
Should probably get my.
That's what
My
I'm doing.
timeline
pulling
up,
out
huh?
my
Oh, is this the
le
chronology?
timeline.
There is a chronology, yes.
Well, now, wait a minute. We're not just going to jump into shit. Well, you guys got to
we
tell
gotta
me
give
what's
the
been
story.
going on around here. What have you guys been doing? What's been going on with
not
the
a
show?
damn thing.
Is the show going well? Because from what I understand, it's the top show on Lineup Media.
Yeah, it's going okay, I guess.
FM. You guys
it's
can't.
not
I can't
doing
even
too
throw
bad.
you compliments, you motherfuckers.
We're doing okay. We keep every week our downloads go up and blah blah blah. We get people on the group.
Just fucking celebrities I'm sitting with.
It's
incredible. It's incredible.
It's incredible.
It's constant growth, just like me. Constant growth, both personally, spiritually, financially. Maybe not financially.
Man.
Just growth all around. Pants,
congratulations on the houses you guys
waistline.
just bought, too.
Yeah.
That's
What?
great, man. I saw you guys.
Corey's a bit of an
He's
exaggerator.
kidding, IRS. He's kidding.
You got the Lambo, and you got the
IRS.
Royce, the RR.
Yeah, I'm thinking about trading it back though.
I mean,
for
it's
a
tough with the
Bentley.
6'3" frame, fucking
37
beautiful
inch
black
vertical
steel
leap.
all over the top of my head. This mustache that just won't quit.
God, man, people aren't even gonna be able to talk to you in this office pretty soon.
Well, I mean, I wish that time was here. But soon. I'm being less and less friendly every day. So,
Everett has become quite a cocksucker over the past few months. It's all right, but yeah, it's
hey,
true.
man, you know,
Why don't you guys just move away into your own little office?
I wish we wait. Anyway, enough about us. Let's talk West Memphis 3.
Yes.
Oh man, wait, what's West Memphis 3?
You know what it is. We talk about it all day.
Yeah, I know.
So
let's get names.
May 5th was in 1993.
Let's get names.
What were the boys'
Let's
names?
start this off.
Let's start with the victims' names before we glorify the alleged
Ooh,
killers.
Yeah. Okay, well, here goes
Glorify
the
them,
laughing
we'll do
part.
that.
I guess the laughing's over. 3 boys' names are Michael Moore, Stevie Branch, and Christopher Byers.
Michael
The
Moore.
main, the forgotten.
Fahrenheit
Their names
9/11.
are kind of forgotten in all this, and that's a shame. But
Yeah, the celebrity image more given to the boys
Yeah.
that were convicted
Yeah.
versus the people that deserve the.
Yeah, so what had happened is day before they killed, last they were seen riding across town, the 3 of them on their bikes. The next afternoon, they find the 3 boys bruised, beat up, mutilated, hog-tied.
The official search started that morning,
Right.
May 6th. They started that morning, like 8 o'clock in the morning, and it wasn't long before one of the guys found. And actually, they were down. He seen a shoe was the only thing in the little creek that was
Yeah, they were all naked.
identifiable. Yeah, fucking gnarly.
Yeah, the place they found him was like a little holler, so to speak, in the middle of town. Probably, I wouldn't say more than a half-mile by half-mile wooded area.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Did you ever see the first movie, It? You know where they go down there and play, and that's like where they built the dam. That's kind of exactly what it reminded me.
Just a little wooded area.
Mm-hmm.
They were apparently. It depends on which version of the stories you read. Damien Echols, the so-called ringleader of the 3 West Memphis 3 boys, hung out there a lot. But then sometimes he says he didn't. You know, his stories kind of never really line
the
up.
ringleader.
I mean, if you're going to say any one of the 3
I
are the
know,
leader,
I know.
If any one of them were, it would have been him. Yeah.
right? I mean, Jason, he's a little aloof, so to speak. He seems like he's in a cloud. And Jesse, yeah. He's
Oh,
definitely
Jessie
nobody's leader.
Misskelley.
Yeah, you know what? They
What you
seem
want
like
me to say?
they seem like they were just kids or something. It's strange.
Yeah, it's a little weird, huh?
weird.
How old was Jesse? I think he was, 16?
They were all 16, weren't
No,
they?
he was
hey,
18.
Damien was older. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to say he was 17, Baldwin was 16, and Echols was 18. I could be wrong on that, but I think they were. I thought they were all 3 different ages at the time.
Yeah, they may well have been. Between 16 and 18 was what
Yeah.
their ages are. All 3 of the boys were 8, the ones that got murdered.
Let's get this down chronologically. So 3:30 p.m. Stevie Branch and Michael Moore, the 2 children, leave the Hobbs house on bikes. So Stevie Branch is Pam and Terry Hobbs' son, and Michael Moore, I think it was Stephen Moore, was the father. I don't have that on mine. So that's at 3:30. 3:35. Christopher Byers had stopped by their house, and he leaves the house on his bike looking for the other boys. Pam Hobbs said they just left. You know, you'll be
Todd
able
and
to find-
Diana were the
Todd and
parents.
Diane, okay. 5 minutes later, Christopher Byers leaves the house looking for the other boys on his bike. Okay, so 5 o'clock, Terry Hobbs picks up his wife, Pam, and takes her to work. 9:18, Terry picks Pam up from work, arrive home, and the kids have not come home yet. And this is, before they left, she's like, shit, they haven't come home yet. So, from there, morning of May 6th, 1993, like he said, the search is on. So, from there, rock and roll.
You got to wonder what the cops were thinking at that point. Were all 3 of the children reported missing at that point? Just one? Did they know what they were looking for?
All 3 are reported missing.
And they were reported to be together, so they
and
knew they were looking for a group of kids.
Yes, and the Michael Moore, his parents were on vacation, is my understanding.
Weird.
At the time.
Huh.
Not weird.
And they left him there for an 8-year-old, I guess.
Well, I imagine they left somebody with him. Although,
true.
It makes you wonder.
You never, after watching, if you guys get some time and want to look into this more, the movies about this case are a great place to start. You got the 3 Paradise Lost movies. None of them were really that great. They kind of get you into it. I didn't think they were that great. They were real low on info.
Really?
They were real low on
info.
I thought so. And they mostly delved around what the family was doing. It was almost an expose on the family to make them look bad. It was like I'm not saying that's what they set out to do, but boy, that's what they accomplished with those movies.
Oh, we'll get into that.
Let's get into it. Let's talk about those Paradise Lost movies.
Okay.
First one first. The first thing I thought was weird was Pam Hobbs herself. The way she
oh my God.
reacted like right after the bat, like the interview they tried to do with her. She's
cringeworthy.
Like, oh my God, I'm getting ready to be on TV. First things first.
I can't believe you didn't watch these movies.
No, I sure didn't, man.
You should have, dude.
I like different avenues of research than what he does. It does us better when we don't look at the same shit.
This Hobbs guy. Oh, hey, Shane Dow watching live from Benton, Illinois.
Hey, what's up, Shane?
Oh, what's up, Shane?
Hurricane Shane-O.
He's one of our UGC guys.
Oh, that's good. I'm thinking Benton. We had him in. That's around Anna too.
Down south.
Okay, that interview she gave, I don't care what anybody says about how this opioid crisis has started and everything and all the pills started in the late 90s.
Oh, you could totally tell there. Yeah.
These people are on some shit. A lot of them.
Every single person involved.
Yes.
The interviews that I saw, everybody looked fucked up. That's something I actually said to him. I'm like, are all these people on drugs? Because they look high. They look high. I mean, we could smell our own.
We'll get to him. Mark Byers is quite the character. His wife, the interviews with his wife were nothing short of amazing. The heat coming off of her, or the fire in that woman after this happened to her children. And not that I can blame her. But Lord Almighty, the fire coming out of this woman was...
Poor Jessie. I'm going to send him a skirt.
Oh, yes. She's like, I'm going to send him a skirt right to prison because she's happy he got convicted.
Yeah.
Mark Byers, her husband...
Out of his
Let me see if I can find
mind.
some sound clips of him.
What do you think he was on?
He claims nothing other than the Lord.
Little of that.
But
that can be a powerful substance in itself, though. Right there, I'm just going to throw that out there. The Lord makes people do some crazy things.
You know, it's funny that all these, what do you call them? They're the preachers, the ministers, or what is it? What televangelists? It's no.
Those animals killed you.
What we got here?
They're evil.
I'm doing something horrible.
John Mark Byers
killed you, and I blame them for your death.
He sounds like the Percy Pringle or Paul Bearer.
Oh yeah.
And all for you morons, infidels, and fools that think I had anything to do with it, go to hell.
He put this out.
Dude, he goes out with a
GoPro.
GoPro.
Paradise Lost 2.
He goes out with a GoPro and just starts doing footage.
Oh, he didn't go out with a GoPro.
It sure does look like it.
It was his Razor phone.
He
had his Razor.
Good point.
No, they're filming him.
That's a good point.
Damn crewing out with him.
He goes out to the woods where this happened, Robin Hood Hills or whatever it's called. He stages
Robin Hood Hills.
a mock creation of gravestones of the West Memphis Three. Drive some stakes in the ground. This one's for you, Jesse. This one's for you, Jason. This one's for you, Damien.
Proceeds off his fucking rocker. Or
oh,
what?
way off.
Way off, huh?
Way off. Anyway, he proceeds to spray him down with barbecue starter and light him on fire. And he's like, "I told you I'd dance on your graves. Well, these ain't your graves yet, but I'm doing it." He sprays him down with lighter fluid, lights him on fire. Then he proceeds to start dancing on it.
And Damien Echols is the crazy one.
And he starts spraying it with more fluid as he's dancing on it.
Burn in hell.
Wait, does he not worry about his own safety? Like you will light yourself.
I don't think that's anywhere in his brain.
He probably didn't know nothing about stop, drop, and roll. If he didn't know stop, drop, and roll, I could be okay.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is not the first time he had done something like that. He's just a hunch.
It's how he perfected his talent. He did that every night for 2 years.
Oh, he goes out with...
Burn and go to hell.
There it is.
Burn like you deserve to burn.
like you burn my babies.
Oh, man.
I don't mean to make fun of the guy.
I hate you as well because it's a bummer, and I really don't think, after seeing all the stuff about it, I don't think he had anything to do with it. There's a lot of people who did.
Notice we went the other way. We buried him first, and then we came back. And
That's how it works around here.
Because it's not fun to be behind him and then bury him.
Well, you watch those movies and tell me that they're not playing on the fact that this guy's a freak, and he's half the movie.
They put everything that I watched. They put so much emphasis on religion around there. They called it the Bible Belt. That everyone was Bible thumpers. That was how they got the conviction, because that these kids are Satanists. These kids are Satanists, and everyone around there was so big into just the whole religion gig, man. That they were just like, oh no, the Satanists killed the kids. Take them away. Put them in jail. Kill them. Burn them.
Got that right.
You know what I mean? It was almost, and like I said, I'm not going to, because I got a different opinion than these two guys, but I'm going to say at this point, it seemed like to me during my research that this was nothing more than a witch hunt for these three teenagers. It seemed like they were the scapegoats. Like this town, this community They needed a fucking fall guy. Whether they did it or not, they needed the bad guy. They needed the face, the public image of these three troubled juveniles, white trash, lived in the trailers, got problems, criminal records.
They wear black.
As a matter of fact,
they're goth.
As a matter of fact,
maybe wicked.
Hey, Damien Echols did goth before goth was cool.
When was it cool?
He was fair. Fair. But no, so like the and if I'm wrong, correct me here, but the lead investigator, what was his name? Bitchell?
Gary Gitchell.
Okay, yeah, I want to call him Bitchell because I don't really like him. So Gary Bitchell, he got the names from the probation officer. That's how he discovered these kids. He didn't even discover them through evidence and detective work and police work. He was out there.
He asked the guy, "Who do you think did it?
Who do you think
did
it,
anybody?
Mr. Probation Officer?" And he's like, "Well, fuck, I got these three pieces of shit. Here, take them." And I'm not calling the guys pieces of shit, but it was from the beginning.
Not even the three guys. He got Damien Echols, and then he got the other guys he ran around with.
Yeah, it wasn't like they used any sort of evidence to try to find these dudes. They just was like, yep, they're the lower class of society. They're the lower echelon. These are not. They're expendable.
Exactly.
They're expendable.
And that's
we got to have a bad guy.
That's Damien Echols' case. And what? Do yourself a favor.
Think what you might, but you can kiss my ass.
Just saying.
We're going to go back to him. We got to get back to him.
Yeah.
Go back if you can in your mind, if you're able to go back that far. If you're listening, I don't know.
Nope.
10 trying.
seconds.
Go back 25 years. And it's crazy to say go back 25 years now. Yeah. I'm 12 years old at the time. But think about how different things were here.
9.
Now subtract, 50 years if you go to Arkansas? Because these people, and like Damien Echols said, we were poor white trash in the wrong. They thought, and I can kind of remember thinking, these goth kids, what the fuck's wrong with these guys? And I can see this somewhat happening around here.
Sure, that could happen almost anywhere.
But people were scared. And
they were legit scared, man.
Exactly. This Jerry Driver guy, a parent expert in cult and demonic studies, because he was looking into the occult, and he was the only person doing it in fucking West Memphis, Arkansas.
The only guy they could find, and they call him an expert. That's like saying Everett and I are experts on conspiracies.
That's like saying we're experts on anything.
We're just available.
There you go. I mean, the fact that
I watch Stephen King movies.
Yeah. Hey, man, I watched House. Doesn't mean I can perform fucking surgery. You know what I mean?
No, that's the point, though. And it's West Memphis, Arkansas. It's backwoods. I don't mean to offend any of our southern viewers, but goddamn, come on.
They a bunch of hicks down there, man. Come on.
Backwoods,
let's get with it. They just some country bunking biscuit eaters.
No DNA, no anything.
No DNA.
And these guys,
they are just stripped of all their DNA.
They're stripped of fucking logic.
Yeah, what did we agree upon? What was Jessie Misskelley's actual IQ? Because he had to be IQ tested for. Okay, take it away here.
So from what I'm reading, he was given roughly 3 IQ tests that I'm aware of. Beforehand, his first 2 IQ tests came out to 84 and 88 performance-based IQ, which is right along average. They tested him again, and it came out to a 75, 3 weeks later. So coincidentally, a few weeks prior, apparently he had an IQ test, but the one that police administered brought him down to that low level.
Okay, I was under the impression that 90, 95, 100 was average.
No, anything above 80, depending on which scale you're at. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And anything below 75 is
slow, so to speak.
Feeble-minded, they call it, yeah.
Donkey-brained.
Donkey-brained, yes.
Or as Miss Kelly's dad said, he's just slow-minded. Everybody's slow-minded.
Yeah. What's it? My boy's retarded, but he grew out of it. Mama, quit telling people that. I did not grow out of retardation. You can't do that. No, you never.
Good Lord,
no?
What's that from?
Yeah,
stand-up
I think that's
comedian.
just from today. I think that's just happening right now.
Wow, yeah. He's never grown out of it, folks.
Jump back into the timeline because that figures in what we're talking about because it's a month later that this starts taking place. They couldn't find anything, and then they pulled Jessie Misskelley in.
Right, and the circumstances are surrounding his whole interrogation. Who can get the real story on that? Some people say he was in for a few hours, and he quickly confessed within 2.5 hours of interrogation. He was there for maybe 4 hours, 5 hours. Some people say he was there 12.5 hours.
Let me give you a date. So
June 3.
You got your what's that?
June 3, yeah.
June 3.
Yeah, June 3, 93. With consent from his father, Jessie was taken into West Memphis Police Department for questioning. He was being questioned because he was the known friend of Damien Echols, who was suspect in the murders. With additional written permission from his father, he was read his Miranda rights and given a polygraph exam, which he reportedly failed. The documentaries imply that Jessie was interrogated for 12 hours before confessing. That is a lie. Jessie arrived at the police station at 10 a.m. and confessed at 2:20. Only 2.5 hours of that time was spent in actual interrogation.
Here's another little interesting factoid there. The police made sure to tell Jessie that there was a $35,000 reward leading for information to the convictions in this case before he confesses. And if you watch any of the interviews with him, too, he claims that they had been, he claims the whole 12-hour story.
So wait, hang on a second. What are you getting at? That the kid's going to tell on himself just to get $35,000? I mean, he's got a 75 IQ, but he's not that stupid.
No, if you listen to his story, he says that he didn't actually do anything. He was there. He bird dogged one of the kids down and then left, and they did everything. So it sounds like to me he was ready to implicate Echols and Baldwin just at a chance at that $35,000. He's saying, "Yeah, I was there, but I didn't do anything." And if you listen to his talk about his, but he's not the smartest,
Fair enough. 75 IQ. Forgot. Go ahead.
So he says he was there for many, many, many hours, and he's got this anxiety thing where he answered the question one time, and that's it. And they kept asking him the question, kept asking him. So to get out of there, he just said any answer he could think of to get out of that interrogation, to get out of that room with those police officers for that long amount of time he was been there. So he cops to it and gives them a story in an effort in his story to get out of the interrogation.
You got to go home. Haven't you guys met kids like this? Don't you remember kids like this?
Yeah. Everett's that way.
Yeah.
Everett's a hermit.
He was basically saying, just fucking leave me alone. Yeah.
I got to go see my dad.
I'm sure he's claustrophobic, for fuck's sake. I would be. Have you guys ever been in an interrogation room?
No comment.
Okay. Yeah,
no,
it's nothing to write home. It was 5 minutes, and I was like, all right, yeah, get me out of here, because I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. So I can see him just start rattling off what he's heard. There's one major problem in all this. He was at fucking wrestling that night.
I heard karate.
No, wrestling.
Wrestling?
They've got pictures of him. They've got him signing into some log or whatever.
See,
the day of the murders.
Again, this is the weird shit that's out there about this. My research said karate, in that whenever they checked into it, the information, the karate tournament he said he was at had happened a month earlier. And the pictures they had given were from an event that happened a month earlier.
Really?
So, I don't know. Again, you read wrestling, I read karate. I'm sure yours is probably more accurate than mine, but...
It's wrestling.
Wrestling?
He was at wrestling that night.
Let me ask you guys this: even if like it says his dad was, gave the police permission, he's read his rights, now he can be interrogated. Let me ask you this though, and this is kind of off topic, but not. What if a kid that doesn't want to answer those questions, even though his father and his legal parent or guardian has given permission for him to do so, can he still say I'd refuse to answer questions? I mean, I know a kid probably wouldn't, but would he be well within his legal right to say
anybody can plead the
counsel?
fifth? Anybody
can.
Yeah, you can stop any time and say.
Wait a minute. Plead the fifth in court.
Well, that's a good point. You have the right not to interrogate yourself or
incriminate yourself.
Yeah, incriminate.
Okay, before you do any of that, you have to get a lawyer for them.
True.
But when you are underage and your parent gives consent, you're kind of fucked.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. So you are kind of fucked. You don't get that option once they give you consent for you to be interrogated. You can't say I'm lawyer up, but
I'm being honest here. I doubt they even knew what a lawyer was.
You're probably right.
Because they're basically, people like this get public defenders.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Normally.
True.
Yeah.
So
Fair.
just throwing that out.
I imagine Damien, he seems like the only one who actually had a decent working brain. Jason didn't seem to be that smart, even though Jesse's the one everybody said was real slow. I think Jason gets off a little bit just because in comparison he looks a little bit smarter. But watching interviews with him, he's the most timid kid who really seemed like he didn't have any clue what was going on with it.
He's
with the whole
like
situation.
every kid that I knew back then that acted like that.
All right, I'm going to throw a theory out here right in the middle of everything. What if Damien Echols did do it and used them two guys because he knew that they were like, not very smart? Like, hey, man, because the people, those type of people prey on weaker people that they know aren't going to, it's the personalities that they look for.
And Damien's never had an alibi, a corroboratable alibi for that night.
Damien has not?
Never had
See,
a
there you go.
corroboratable.
So, I mean, maybe.
He claimed to have talked with at least 4 people on the phone, but discussions with those people after the fact, none of them could say that in the 4-hour period, the 5-hour period, or whatever it was, whenever this shit supposedly went down, they had any direct phone or contact with him.
No one could corroborate that.
No one could corroborate his story. So that's a little weird too.
And you know what? The talk up here has me looking at the same thing, and that's what we're going to get to about Jessie Misskelley's, and what I brought to you guys is 40 minutes of his interrogation is all that exists of hours of questioning. Wow.
Where did all that go, or why didn't they turn on the tape?
They didn't turn it on until I assume after he had confessed, and then they wanted him to re-go through the story. It's
probably like, we don't need this last hour; it doesn't help us at all. Start the
it's
tape
like
over.
Once they groom him enough to where they know he's going to tell the story they want. Once they've grilled him, and are you sure you were there? Well, maybe I was here. I don't. Once they put that confusion and doubt in a little kid's mind. Bam, start the recorder, because now we got him where we want him, and there's your taped confession. It might take 3 hours of grooming before you get to where you need to be.
And that's the argument. It's like talking to a child. And if you listen to the outtakes, they're like, okay, hold on. You said it was at noon. I thought it was around 7. He's like, what time was it? Was it noon or 7? It had a couple hours. He's like, no, it was 7.
Yeah, that with Jesse, like 6 or 7 times he changes his story. He starts in the morning, and then they keep asking me. He keeps moving the timeline along, and eventually he's like, yeah, it was dark at night. We couldn't see anything.
Maybe because he can't remember what Damien told him.
Or he's just trying to tell them whatever they want to hear. They're feeding him this information more or less.
Because it's their story.
That's why they don't turn the tape on until right before the confession, because they've wanted to force feed him and groom this conversation. They made this conversation go where they wanted it to. That's what they do. I'm not giving them too much credit, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I've heard that. And the other thing is, can you imagine how many times this has happened over...
that didn't get a movie or a TV show like Making a Murderer or any of this shit.
And it's a great point. They said they don't like the word interrogation. They like interview. They interviewed him. They didn't interrogate him. They didn't Gestapo his ass.
You interrogate a criminal. You don't interrogate a possible witness. You interview them.
It's just the way he says,
It's the same thing.
He had Stevie Branch down. He was screwing him and stuff, and I grabbed Stevie Branch and I held him. I just don't buy the confession, just because I don't think he is mentally capable of.
Well,
it's confusing.
What about the morning after the murders? Right. Jesse's friend Buddy Lucas, he stopped by Jesse's house. Buddy said that Jesse told him he hurt some boys in West Memphis the night before. He then broke out in a sweat, cried, and gave Buddy a used pair of sneakers, presumably the ones that he wore at the crime scene. Anything on that, Corey?
No. Did he turn those over to the cops then immediately?
Negative.
Okay.
Buddy Lucas did not do that?
No, he did not.
Well,
that's why it said presumably.
One of Jesse's good friends.
Yeah.
He claims that Jesse came to him the next day, said he killed the kids, take these shoes, etc.
Yeah, his friend Buddy Lucas said that. It was the very next morning. Said that Jesse broke out in a cold sweat, cried, and gave him a used pair of sneakers, and then that's when it says presumably the ones from the crime scene.
What's crazy, too, is the amount of people that come out of the woodworks who say they were there and witnessed it. You know what I mean? There was the one guy who did the interview in the court lobby. Did you see his interview? Where he says, I was there, I saw it all happen, and then as soon as they start to ask him his name, he's like, I have no further comments, and just cheeses out. It's in one of the Paradise Lost movies, I believe.
Yeah, it was Paradise Lost, too. I think he had some issues.
Oh, I'm sure he did, but that's my point. There's all these people coming out of the woodworks have witnessed this, like the kid who... the kid who was on the stand who eventually comes out and says he was on LSD the whole time and doesn't know why he was doing what he was doing.
And he goes by the name of Michael Carson.
Okay, sure.
They had a dude all fucked up on acid here?
Well, no, just in a further interview.
Huffing gas was his big thing.
Oh.
He was in fucking La La Land. He was facing burglary charges. We'll get to him.
There was another woman who's recanted her statements that she had, witnessed
I
shit.
didn't grab her name. She was the one person I missed.
It hardly matters. We don't need that kind of evidence. But the point is, there's all these people that, for whatever reason, decide they're going to go to the trial and testify against these boys for no other reason than, I guess, they find it morally reprehensible that they get to live.
Which brings me back to John Mark Byers. John Byers, whatever.
John Mark.
Do you think that most of these people in West Memphis, Arkansas, aside from when a tractor got fucking stuck in a ditch, had seen a camera before?
Oh, I'm sure there are Polaroids and shit.
Remember what we were talking about before we came on the show, how everybody you think you saw as a kid was a millionaire on TV?
Sure.
Dude, these guys, this Byers guy saw a camera, and I mean, he became public enemy number one because he couldn't get enough of being on camera. He basically
Why are you being so mean to us
shot
now all
himself
of
in
a
the foot.
sudden when the cameras are rolling?
Shit, that was a bad one. My bad.
No, that's a good one. That's the point.
You're so nice to us when the cameras are
I'm
off.
not being mean to you. I'm just speaking my mind.
You are two people.
No.
There you go.
If you can't
You were my
stand
buddy
the-
last time. What
I'm-
happened?
That's exactly right. That guy plays it for the camera so hard.
And who did you never hear a word from on camera until Paradise Lost 3 and West of Memphis? Terry Hobbs.
Yeah, that dude's creepy looking.
You think?
If you ever watch any, I don't know if you did during your.
I watched some Terry Hobbs shit. Yes.
His eyes are the most dodgy little things. Like he's worried every time somebody's
He
talking
looks
to him.
fucked up. He looks like he's on some sort of speed. Something speed. That dude's not a downer guy. That dude's the speed. That's the stepfather, right, of the kid that got murdered? Yes, yeah. He's on something. 100% I'm going to go with.
A lot of people think Terry Hobbs is the guy that actually did it.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I don't know.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff that would, make
You
people
can't
think.
account for where he was for 3 hours in the middle of the night.
To be fair, neither can Damien Echols.
That's true. But that's when the coroner said between 1 and 5 a.m. was when the murders took place. The coroner said, so I mean, that's the same time span. Maybe they were together. I mean, we're throwing out more theories. It was Damien Echols and the Hobbs guy together.
That's why it's called Surreal Talk, eh?
Exactly.
Okay. We'll get to all that. We haven't even touched the trials yet.
Yeah, which the first trial started in January the next year. It took 6 months for them to get the jury together, and that was Jessie's trial.
Well, let's talk about one more thing. When the cops showed up at Echols, I believe it was trailer, because I believe they lived in a trailer, and Baldwin's with him and their girlfriends. They hid from police when they came.
Well, that
because
doesn't look good.
Rumor had gotten out because that woman that you're talking about that recanted her testimony that said that they were at a cult meeting or whatever.
That's exactly what she said.
And it was all bullshit. It's not satirized, but it is recreated in Devils, not starring Reese Witherspoon. Which is it's an all right movie, but when you can watch the whole thing play out, you don't need to watch that. She says that went over to this house and the police helped set her up to have all this stuff, have devil worshiping type of books and occult books in her house because they were afraid if Damien Echols figured out what was going on, he would kill her.
Really?
Oh, I mean, he was a fucking serial killer.
At that point, that was the impression that everyone got about him.
Well, to be
yeah.
fair, he has a reputation. He had been to juvenile hall and had been reported licking blood off the floor, licking the blood off of other inmates.
Times. Inmates,
Let's go.
students, parents, friends, people in town.
That doesn't help your case.
Let's go back. Yeah, you guys had
blood
some stuff about his time in the mental ward or the juvenile detention center.
He did
I've
time
got
in
some
both.
same things.
He did time in both. First juvie and then the mental institution.
Here you go. So, fact, Damien Echols was mentally ill at the time of the murders. The documentaries all fail to mention that Damien Echols had an extensive mental health record, more than 500 pages long at the time of the murders. In 1992, he was sent to a psychiatric hospital twice by court order and once by his own parents. His parents were concerned about his involvement in what they described as witchcraft, and devil worship, and they wanted him out of their home. In September 1992, Damien's parents told his mental health physician that they were frightened of him and what he could do, and not only to them but to other children that reside in the home. So that's his own parents saying that to the mental health professionals that put him in the loony bin.
I also want to, in his defense, and I swear to God,
Sorry,
my
the
whole
mental health
thing is,
documents are public record, by the way. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't want to be. Actually, I kind of do. To be in his defense, these are mental health officials in Arkansas, in West Memphis, in whatever the case.
You question their credentials?
I question anything that's ever happened in the fucking state of Arkansas.
Fair enough.
And that's not the only one. You can basically cut the United States in half, and I got some questions.
If
about
that
what
state
the
is
fuck's going
tinted
on.
red on any kind of November map, you got some
don't call me out. Jesus. It's not just that.
It's not just the red ones. It's the purple ones that are part red, part blue.
Yeah, the big cities are blue, and then everything else is red,
That's
just
pretty much
like
how it works.
Illinois.
Yep.
So yeah,
And that's not what it is. But I am calling into question because the people that they called experts and professionals are
Right.
not experts and fucking professionals.
I completely
Closest they
agree.
got.
Best they had. So this dude at the Charter Hospital of Little Rock in June 1992 tried to suck blood off of peers who had
Little Rock's a
scratched
big city.
himself. Yeah, this
No,
is
it's
all
not.
part of E500 or Piece of Evidence 500. Yeah, Exhibit 500. Excuse me. So this is from the trial as well.
Oh, by the way, in honor, I wore a Devils jersey.
I didn't even put that together. That's funny.
Nobody got that. All right, fine.
At Craighead County Juvenile Detention Center in September 92, a charter hospital psychological assessment written on September 10 describes his return to juvie, transferred to Crittenden. One of the kids at the detention hall cut his wrist. Damien grabbed his arm and began to suck the blood, smeared it all over his body, and said he is devil worshiping. He is a devil worshiping vampire.
See, I don't know if I buy
And
that
then
statement.
says he's not a vampire, but a witch. He's in isolation and suicide watch. That's from the professionals. So
You
who
said
knew?
you're a witch in Arkansas. Good fucking luck.
Yeah, that was pretty much a dumb thing to do. And I don't doubt either which way that this kid was frustrated and would play into whatever people thought about him. You know what I mean? Fuck you. If you feel like I'm a
There you
witch,
go.
here I am. I'm your
troubled
fucking
teen,
witch.
man. He's troubled youth. He had some issues.
Right, we
man.
went to high school with all these kids.
Exactly.
And sure, we probably avoided the fuck out of them, but that doesn't mean just because they maybe stunk or they dressed in black or had black fingernails or wore makeup and weird fucking boots that were
Or some Jinkos, black
Jinkos.
Jinkos.
I don't know that it was the Jinkos. Most of those kids, even then, were ahead of their time with the skinny jeans.
I'll give you
According
that.
to Damien, he gives his account on that on the exact story that the Craighead County Juvenile Detention Center reported on, and he said that the kid was aware he was going to do this. This was a staged plan. So, well, of course,
Who, Damien?
Damien said that about licking the blood off of the kid's wrist.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
So, yeah, the dude's just okay. Here you go.
Well, that's the
Number
problem.
5.
For 20 years now, there's been so much fantastical bullshit around this case with people playing into this and that. It's hard to really understand about who these people are.
Well, these are all real. This is all documented.
It's coming
stuff
from
here.
the fucking internet, so take it with a grain of
Fair
salt.
enough, but I'll give you. I'll post the links to the page in the bio. Did
There
you
you
do
go.
that? All right, got it.
Whatever.
So
Probably
number 3,
won't.
counseling. Probably not. And counseling sessions and Social Security applications, January to February '93. On January 25th, Sherry Dawkins filed a longer individual progress note. Focus of today's session is spent talking with Damien about his feelings of death. He brought with him a session, a poem that he had written about in the past week. The theme of this poem is centered around death and power. Damien explained that he obtains his power by drinking the blood of others. He typically drinks the blood of sexual partners or of a ruling partner. This is achieved by biting or cutting. He states it makes me feel like a god. Damien describes drinking blood as giving him more power and strength. He remembers doing this as far back as age 10. He does not remember where he learned to do this. This is crazy.
So full of shit.
You really think so?
I think he's a fucking kid.
Let me give you some interesting.
Well, wasn't he 18 before all this went down? So, I mean,
Yeah, but he's telling
Dude,
you
18-year-olds
all
are
this
kids.
Exactly.
fair, but at 18, I still knew I wasn't going to drink somebody's blood.
I don't think he was actually doing that. You guys, man,
Hit it, man.
Yeah,
Say what you think.
go. Let's hear it.
I still do. I like playing on people's thoughts of me. Like, oh, is that what you think? Then you think I'm a dick? Well, then I'm going to be a fucking dick. Because if that's how you're going to treat me, you're like, I've always said, if you don't like someone, you better have a good fucking reason to not like them. Because they have done something to you, they have done you wrong, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
liked somebody based on how they treated me, not based on something you heard or you judge somebody on. You got to see it in person. You got to know that you don't like. You can fuck with people. This kid lived in a world that was just, I can only equate to him living in this world as just being complete and pure misery.
Yeah, he was almost set up to fail from the beginning of his life. I mean, he didn't have a shot.
It's like he's not even from there. He doesn't have the southern accent to a like that
That's a good point.
T, that southern
The other
accent
ones all
that you
do.
know.
Yeah, he didn't fit in for sure.
No.
Not at all.
I mean, he's different, and that's why they went after him, because he's different.
Easy
My
enough target
thoughts.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Let me tell you something here that might blow your mind about how quick some of this shit went down. For instance, Jessie Misskelley's jury selection in his trial began January 18th.
It lasted, 45 minutes?
Didn't take long.
wait, from the selection
No,
to the trial?
No, just January 18th is when the selection begins for the trial, jury selection. February 5th, he is convicted of first-degree murder and two of the counts. So in 17 days, they go from jury selection to you're guilty.
With a
Trial
confession.
over. With a confession.
You've got to take
That's
it
true.
You've got to take it from their point of view.
Right. With a confession, it's way easier to get a conviction than it is even with evidence.
That reminds me. Jesse's confession, as soon as it was given, it is immediately leaked to the Commercial Appeal, which is the big newspaper in West Memphis.
Big. It's got like
Whatever.
3,000 circulation. I got nothing.
Literally. I can only imagine. Not many, but newspapers were big
Still,
back then.
sure.
That's how you got
That's
your
fair.
news. And you watched West
if you cared
Memphis
about
News at 9.
Hometown shit, that's the only place to get your news is.
It's a big fucking deal.
It's before the internet, so.
Poor
2-3
bastard.
years before.
Never had a shot.
So February 19th, of 12 days after, or 2-3 weeks after Jesse's conviction, Echols and Baldwin's trial, who they were tried together, opens in Jonesboro,
Why were they
Arkansas.
tried together and the other kid was tried separate? Why is that?
I think it was by choice, and it was determined that Jesse did not kill any of the boys.
And originally, Jesse's testimony was not supposed to be used at all in their trial, but they worked out a deal that where Jesse was going to testify against them. So
Wow.
Josh Ferguson, blood god to me would be like bathing in it and using it as face paint. I love it.
Indeed.
Oh, man.
So February 17th, 94, after being pressured by prosecutors and receiving a promise that his girlfriend would be allowed to visit him in jail,
Allegedly.
Jesse tells prosecutors he will testify against Echols and Baldwin in their upcoming trial. He makes a statement under oath accusing Echols and Baldwin of murdering 3 boys. So every time they get something out of him, it's quid pro quo, you know what I mean? Here's what we'll give you if you tell us what we want to hear. Every single, from the confession to now saying that, I will testify against these, they're like,
You're talking about Jesse here, right?
Right.
Okay.
They said they give him, access to his girlfriend, and that's basically it. And he's like, all right, that's enough. I will testify.
I'd ask for a steak dinner or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Wait a minute. He will testify?
Right.
Jesse Misskelley did
That's
not.
what he did not, but he said he would on the 17th of 94. They goaded him into saying he will testify.
Yeah. Tricked him into it. Now, you're getting to Baldwin and Echols.
Right.
Baldwin was offered 2 chances to testify secretly. 2
Against
chances
Echols?
to testify against Echols and say he killed them. No.
Well,
He wouldn't
good
do
on
it.
him, man. If
Yeah.
it wasn't truth, good on him.
Yeah. I mean, at least for being kids, as much shit as I give to being, they're just kids, this kid didn't fucking sell out.
No,
And you gotta give
that
him
takes a lot of
props.
balls for a kid who's underage. He's in jail every single night with God knows who, with
Oh.
God knows what happening,
Oh.
and he's got the fortitude to be like, you know what? I'm not going to say that my friend killed these kids just to save myself. I'm not going to do it.
And that's Baldwin.
That's Baldwin.
Good.
The same
And
kid
this
who
is that
wouldn't,
timid kid, mind you. From every interview, he's like,
the same kid who wouldn't take the Alfred plea at the beginning,
Right.
which I'm skipping. I'm jumping.
We'll get there, but-
it's the same guy, same kid. Kid. Remember being a kid.
mm-hmm.
Listen to me, boys. Sorry,
Bars.
like I'm fucking.
So here's some more timeline shit for how quick this stuff goes down in Arkansas. Jury deliver. Okay, sorry. February 28th, the opening arguments are presented in the trial for Echols and Baldwin. March 18th, they find them guilty. So 18 days later.
That's insane.
Unless that was a
how
leap year
fast
that year.
Can you imagine what a waste of time? 92 was leap year.
Okay.
Can you imagine it going that how serious this is? Should be things that should be presented, and it
was apparently open and shut. If you ask them, in 3 more days they hand down the sentences of Jason gets life in prison, I think plus 40 years or so. That's what Jessie got.
Misskelley got.
He got 2 life sentences, wasn't it? And some other amount of time is what Jason got.
Right.
And Damien gets death.
Death.
I guess as the ringleader. Again, I'm giving him that
They
title.
have the death penalty in Arkansas? I'd have never guessed.
Yeah, man. Apparently it's a big thing down there. They get 12 people with shotguns, put you up against the wall, let you have it. No, they were going to give him. I think
they moved up from.
The quote was, "You will be giving a supply of barbiturates, and it'll stop your fucking heart," or some shit like that.
They moved up from a tree and a noose.
No shit.
Nothing wrong with tree and noose, in my opinion. It works.
Well, certain people.
So, no, I know we talked a little bit about some of the evidence in the trial, and I know Corey doesn't agree, so I want to bring up a couple of questions here, Corey, about the fibers.
Let's go.
The green fibers microscopically similar to a shirt found in Echols' home, and red fibers microscopically similar with a bathrobe found in Baldwin's home were found on the victims. The defense rested the fibers in 2012 and claimed that they do not match. However, the people who retested the evidence were paid by the defense. The fibers have decayed over the years and are now of poor quality. The original criminalist who examined them has died and cannot defend attacks against her original findings. So they've retested them, and they think that they don't match, but the person that originally tested them has died and can't tell what she's tested when her original testing was that they didn't match.
There's a couple other things like that knife that had the blood in it, which that goes against Mark Byers, but they found that knife that had
blood on it.
Right, well, inside the workings of it.
You guys talking about the lake knife? The knife in the lake?
No, that knife's bullshit too, because it was
that
thrown
the
out a year
knife,
before.
Right.
So what knife
it was
are
a
you
year
talking
before
about?
the fucking crime.
Right.
Then they called the newspaper to come and say we're going to find this knife.
It was like a buck knife,
but they never called the person who told them about the knife to the stand because they knew it didn't relate.
Well, you're not going to obviously you're not going to call somebody who shits on your evidence.
Obviously, you can see where I rest on this.
Right.
I apologize to give away my stance.
No big. What about the bloody necklace? You know about that?
No.
Le bloody necklace.
So it was never presented to the jury, but a necklace belonging to Damien Echols had blood on it from 2 DNA sources. I've even read 3 DNA sources. It had his blood on it. It had Jason Baldwin's blood on it, and it also had Stevie's blood on it.
Which was one of the victims.
Right, Stevie Branch. It was found too late to be used as evidence in the trial.
Where was it found?
Let's see.
Just the necklace. Where was it found? Why didn't they test it? How did they not use this?
It didn't fit their case, obviously. No, it would have fitted. The defense needed that. Or no, I'm sorry. The prosecution needed that necklace.
I'll try to find out where they found it exactly, but
you know this.
There's a lot of weird little shit.
Everything that's found brings me back to why didn't this Baldwin kid sell him out?
Why didn't he?
Yeah,
because they probably didn't do it. But I think he could have been scared of him too. Maybe, I don't know. I could give all kinds of weird answers. Maybe he really believed in the occult. Maybe he believed Damien had power over him at the time. I don't know. You can go into 100 different reasons kids get scared and don't do things or do things. Jessie Misskelley apparently wanted to say whatever he could do to get out of a room with the police officer. So, I mean, to put logic behind why these kids did any of their things they did is kind of difficult too.
I find it hard to believe that, oh boy. Sorry. I should have never looked over and read.
I want to read this.
Read the thread.
Uh-oh.
I would agree with that, but with an eye for an eye, you say you raped somebody, I believe you should be raped back. Same with the murder, she was stabbed to death. Yeah, I totally disagree with you there, Warren. Gonna have to disagree with you about that whole rape somebody who raped somebody thing.
Yeah, that's not the answer to rape. Rape is not the answer to rape.
Yeah.
Rape can't cure rape.
I hope you're just being fantastical.
It's funny.
I hope so.
This trial has a lot like this is like me stepping into your guys' world. I'm serious. That you guys deal with this all the time. I mean, you do a show every week.
Well, yeah, I guess you can say we deal with it.
I would, so many things that you guys talk about, I sit and say, oh, come the fuck on. Get out of here. That's not.
Hey, that's my half of the show.
Oh, is it?
No shit. That's Everett's whole line there. That's his script.
But if you still have this thing, and that's the problem with evidence. Once you DNA test something, it's ruined. You can't go back and do it again. It's done.
Yeah.
And if they have so much of this, and I know so many people believe these guys did it. They did it. And that's a done deal in so many people's minds. Yet they get out. There's some things later that are said by the state's attorney, and they save themselves to not look bad. Yet they have this supposed evidence with blood on a necklace and some other things you guys have brought up. But like I said with the movies, like we said before, like I can't believe you didn't watch the movies.
Right, I didn't want to.
You're going to have to watch those. Just even now. I mean,
even
I
after. Well, I will after the fact, but I didn't want to for the research. I wanted to do different.
That's good. I'm kind of glad you didn't. But to have these things and say that, and at the end, they save their own ass, it just leaves so many questions as to. I just think it's such a backwards ass place that they don't know what they're doing. And they found 3 kids, set them up, which, hold on, I didn't even bring this up. When this was going on, I got to find her name in my notes. The trial of Echols and Baldwin. Michael Carson, who we brought his name up, former juvenile inmate of Baldwin, testified against Echols and Baldwin, was facing prison on several counts of domestic burglary, testifies. Where you got him at?
Got him top page 2.
Top of page 2?
Yeah, about the letter he wrote to the prosecuting attorney. About keeping Nichols in jail.
Echols?
Nichols.
Echols.
About keeping Echols in jail.
Bathrobe, yeah, that bathrobe. I swear to God, that's debunked somewhere. Got it. No. Michael Carson.
I thought you said Michael Johnson.
No, not Michael Johnson.
That was Echols' cellmate, was Michael Johnson.
Yes. And I know that we'll get to him, too. But they cut his sentence in exchange for his testimony. And a gal named, and if you've watched West of Memphis, her name's Joyce Curitan, former director of the Juvenile Detention Center. Larry Emerson, the sheriff of Craighead County. They're going through this, and Joyce watches it with her kids or a group of her kids' friends, and they said, this kid's full of shit. Because he told the jury, well, he testified.
You want to hear his testimony real quick? I got the thing what he exactly said here.
Suck the blood from the testicles.
The question was, tell me what happened next. And Carson and I'm going to do an impersonation of him.
Oh, right.
I don't know what he sounds
like. I like impersonations.
Well, we was all sitting there. They was teaching me how I was getting confused and stuff, so we was all laughing last night. And then I sat there. We sat there and talked about how they was talking about Jason and his trial, and everybody's talking about what time they were going to get out, when they was going to go to court. And I turned to Jason and said, did you really do it? Straight out, just like that in front of Jason and Bettle. He denied it the very first time I asked him. Okay, so he denied it the first time? The first time? Okay, all right. How long was it before you had another conversation with Jason Baldwin after that first day that you all played spades together? The next day? Okay, tell me the next day what happened. Well, we was sitting there. We was just fixing after. That's okay. Well, we was sitting there playing spades. This is the weirdest thing. I'm reading it like exactly what he said, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. But, well, we was just sitting there playing spades, and the officer comes over to the intercom and tells us to get in our cells because she's fixing to bring lunch in. So me and Jason was sitting there scraping up some cards, and I turned to him and said, between you and me, did you really do it? And he said, yes, I did do it. And he started giving me the gory details. Okay, are you saying he didn't get any gory details, or he did? He did. And going on. And this was the next day? Yeah. Okay, tell me what kind of gory details did he get into? He was saying, like, okay, dismember them, sucking the blood out of their scrotums and playing with their balls in his mouth and stuff like that.
Holy shit.
Okay, do you see how many times or how many balls or scrotums or whatever the penis they played with?
Gotta be no more than 3 scrotums.
I want to repeat that because this is a lawyer asking. Okay, did he say how many balls or scrotums or whatever penis that they played with? What a question. How many of the balls? It's
That's
been a while,
loaded
so all
question
I
because it
pretty
could
much
be 6
remember
or 3, you know?
All I pretty much remember is scrotums, playing with the penis and putting the kid's balls in his mouth. Okay. Well, when he mentioned that was pretty much the end of it. I laid my hands on the table and I jumped back and left him sitting at the table. Left him with the cards and I went to my cell.
Did you?
Sounds like bullshit to me.
Did you?
Watch the video of it because you can see video of this guy.
Larry Emerson, the sheriff of Craighead County, their county. Joyce Curitin was the former director of the juvenile detention center that either Baldwin or Echols was at. The kids called bullshit, and Joyce said to Larry Emerson, the sheriff, this is bullshit. None of this happened.
Mm-hmm.
Exact quote. Larry Emerson said, Crittenden County fucked up. Now we've got to clean up.
There you go.
That's that the boys in blue look out for each other.
The thin blue line, they call that.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
I don't know nothing about it.
Do they make an American flag and turn it black and then put a big blue line?
How you going to get
through it?
mad about fucking police doing that and you turn the goddamn American flag into a fucking gang symbol? That's their gang symbol.
Who, the police's gang symbol?
The police's gang symbol is American flag turned upside down with a blue line.
No offense to any police.
No, I mean,
Fuck that.
take it how you want it. I'm just saying. Pretty much everyone that's listening probably knows
that
my
kind of
stance on
shit.
police.
Let's jump into the crime lab.
Sure. What you got on the lab?
So Arkansas is one of the last states that has a prosecutor-controlled crime lab, and the medical examiner.
What do states normally have? Just third party or?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, some
separate,
outsource that,
totally
yeah.
independent.
Gotcha.
Medical examiner is an arm of the prosecution in Arkansas. Arkansas was formed in 1850, and they are already up to the year 1853 in Arkansas. So, they're going to catch us eventually. Dr. Frank Peretti, who is, he was their main defense. He's their expert. He's the crime lab guy.
Right, he was the medical examiner.
Exactly.
Right.
He's the guy that who was the guy in the OJ case? The
Shit, I can't
Chinese
Goldman?
kid. I can't think
Ron
of his
Goldman?
name.
No,
Okay.
that was
No.
the Jewish guy.
No.
I don't remember that.
Anyway, he pretty much set Echols. I mean, he was done after Echols. I'm sorry.
Echols was done.
Echols was done after he was done testifying, and Peretti cited several things: the knife causing the scratches and scrapes on the children, a knife that was never found. The knife that they put in there was the one that you're talking about. It was found behind Jason Baldwin in the lake. His mother threw it out a year before the crimes happened. They call the police. It's a goddamn...
It's botch after botch. Think about
Exactly.
the bite marks that are on the face. Like there's, I forget which boy had it, but there was a bite mark basically biting the eyebrow from the look of it right around that area.
It was the forehead, yeah.
Said it was thought it was human for a long time.
There's many theories about it. It could have been anybody just bit the face of it. There's a lot of stuff. People think Mark Byers did that. We'll get into that in just a second. But some people think it was the knife they found. It was one of those knives that has the compass on the end of it.
Why don't you let me take it from here on this? Because
Fair enough.
And then you guys totally can refute just after
Okay.
this. So let me tell the little story here. So the knife was found submerged blade down in the pond directly behind Jason Baldwin's home. Damien's ex-girlfriend, Deanna Holcomb, testified that the knife was similar to the knife that belonged to Damien. She said Damien's knife was unique because it had a compass on the end. During the trial, a knife distributor testified that the lake knife, the one that they found in the lake, they called the lake knife, had a missing compass. Several years ago, a Western Memphis Three case researcher named Sean Wheeler revisited what had been described as a human bite mark on Stevie Branch's forehead. Wheeler had two forensic odontologists, dentists, compare the wound to the missing compass slot on the handle of the lake knife. According to Wheeler, forensic odontologist Homer Campbell and Peter Loomis, three different people, experts in both tool mark and bite mark identification. Campbell and Loomis both report that the round slot where the compass had been matched to the wound on Branch's forehead. There are transcripts of emails Wheeler says were sent to him by Campbell and Loomis. I believe the injuries on the left forehead and upper lid of the left eye were produced by the knife recovered or one similar. I also sent photos of the injuries and the knife to another for evaluation, and he agrees. Have fun with this, and thank you for sending it to me. Homer Campbell. Bingo. The circular mark... Bingo. Fuck you. The circular mark looks like the butt of a survival knife. The measurements fit. The diameter of the injury is 30 millimeters. The diameter of the prominent circular area of the butt of the knife is 29.8 millimeters. So, I mean... You're 0.2 millimeters difference in the diameter.
Yeah.
Okay, so the three lacerations under the eyebrow look like they were made by the serrations on the back side of the knife. The measurements also fit here. The lacerations measure 11.2 millimeters between them, and the serrated points on the knives vary between 11.1 and 11.4 millimeters.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. Those survival knives that have the little compass.
They're cheap and everywhere.
Everybody has one. I have at least one or two of them.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
Throwing it out
they fit.
Fuck, I think Stevie Branch had one.
I wouldn't doubt it.
You know, I mean, they fit. That sort of knife, your Jack Hawk 9000 available at Walmart. That knife right there, that's the fucking one. You know, but so there's wait, hang on, let me get back to where I was at. That picking serrations, I could still measure them. Also worth noting, the Lake knife's missing compass may have had a metal pin. May have, because some of those had the metal pin in them. Some have speculated, now this again speculated, that the metal pin could have caused the X mark injury in the center of Stevie's forehead. This is what the compass missing on the Lake knife is believed to have looked like. Note the mental pin in the middle, and it gives you a link.
You can find pictures out there that actually show the bite mark with the picture of the compass intact knife right next to it to kind of compare it. Could be.
I'd like to go back and say I hate that we're talking about. Man, I feel bad because the kids get lost in this.
They do.
God bless them, because they had to fucking. Their lives ended like this, and it's horseshit.
One of my earliest memories is my 8th birthday. So, can you imagine stopping there? What do we got?
Bottom comment. I know you're going to hit it.
We should do a Stephen Avery show.
No, but now what was you had a big theory here earlier about the Stephen Avery thing.
Well, it's just that the reason the Stephen Avery show was made, the Making a Murder.
Nice, real quick. Give me a break.
Right on.
The whole reason Making a Murder was made, maybe not the reason, but the justification for making that show was definitely these, Paradise Lost movies and the success that they had. And
they knew it was going to work.
Right. And I'd have to double check exactly when that Making a Murderer came out, if it was before or after the time these guys were released, because, spoiler alert, they do eventually get out of prison for this. But, yeah, that's my big theory, that show would have never been made if it wasn't for the HBO show.
Yeah, he feels like Netflix took advantage of the success that HBO had with the Paradise Lost movies. And
well, they ain't doing it for free. They're not Netflix.
No, it's a money-making deal. That's
right.
Why else would a business do something other than to make money?
Maybe the people who made the show probably cared, but when Netflix got a hold of it, they were like, yeah, here's a boatload of money for production. Get it done. Send it to us.
Yeah, think about it. Well, they saw, Johnny Depp. What was Eddie Vedder were getting behind this Paradise.
Johnny Depp, Eddie Vedder, Peter Jackson, fucking all kinds of.
It was such a high-profile thing. They wanted to recreate that themselves.
Dixie Chicks, Henry Rollins.
Henry Rollins, good
Dixie
call.
Chicks too?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, they fucked up, man. Oh, Dixie Chicks. What did they do? Remember they could
shit on Bush is all.
Oh, that's it. They shit on Bush.
Careers ended.
Fucking ended.
But back to the bite mark / knife
shit on
mark.
Bush every day.
So Mark Byers, the crazy stepdad of was it Chris Byers?
Byers would be probably.
I'm trying to remember his first name. Any which way. A lot of people thought that he was responsible for the murders.
Christopher Byers.
Yeah, Chris Byers. And the evidence for the fact was that his story about how his teeth, he back when this all happened, he actually had a full mouth of functional teeth. They might have been beat up or whatever. Who
Just
knows?
missing one or two.
Any which way. Within a few years, those teeth are now gone. He's got them replaced with dentures. So his original story was that he had gotten into a fight and somebody had knocked him out with a bar or something like that. And then a couple years later, after people were wanting to get denture or impressions done, they took impressions from all kinds of people. The West Memphis Three, none of their bite marks matched that. At that point, his teeth were gone. So who's to say?
Sorry.
But no, I just want to say I still don't think Mark Byers did it. The guy,
yes,
he's too crazy to have pulled something like this off.
He's too crazy to have killed someone. I'm with you, meth head to me.
Speed for sure.
So
could very well be. He could just be, again, another very low IQ Southerner who just likes the attention. Who knows? But I don't think he was a murderer. What do we got on chat here? See you guys looking at chat.
This guy says Netflix is making money off everything they put out, though. And that's kind of the idea. That's exactly what Everett's getting at. They're not going to put something out.
Yeah, their prerogative is not justice.
They're making money.
Right.
No, yeah, exactly.
It's subscriptions.
Here you go. So if you think Netflix was out for Stephen Avery justice, Netflix, you are absolutely wrong, because that is not the case.
No.
Okay, they did this, and whatever it is saying, they did the whole Making the Murderer deal because of the success that they saw from the Paradise Lost series.
Or justified making it.
Or
right.
justified making it because of the previous success
Some
of this
filmmaker
case
was probably
here.
like, yeah, I could
Sports fans out there, you'll get this analogy. That's like saying the owner of a professional sports team is there so an athlete can perfect his craft on a professional level.
I'm going to give you $30 million a year so you could practice.
Sorry.
He's a good person.
Where were we at? Oh, I wanted to bring this up about Dr. Frank Peretti.
Hit it.
That we were talking about with doctors, and you gave the odontologist thing, and Frank Peretti was their key witness. Basically, set these guys done. Not board certified. failed the test on several occasions. And this is brought up in West of Memphis. He had cited Dr. Vincent J. DeMaio, a man that basically comes out and says in West of Memphis, he got everything wrong. Everything wrong. Looking at pictures, and I know they'll say, oh, well, the defense is paying him. The defense is doing this. Yeah, but he's still a fucking doctor, and he still has to give a correct description.
Does the Hippocratic Oath move along to like investigation like that? If you're a doctor,
yes.
Don't you think it?
Because you can't hurt somebody by
question that
working on
in the trial.
But now, hang on. Now you can discredit doctors based on
Absolutely.
their malpractice suits and everything like that. So a doctor's their credibility is only what you. I mean, it can be destroyed in a heartbeat by a good prosecuting attorney or a good defense attorney. They're just up there to testify to relate what's going on technically and scientifically to the jury so that they can understand.
I think they should on that same guy by explaining how much money he was going to make from the
yes, they did.
From the testifying. Do you remember how much?
$150 if he didn't find anything. $300 an hour. I'm sorry.
Right, an hour.
$300 an hour if he's called to testify.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So that guy has a vested
Yeah,
interest in making sure that.
And we're talking about a different guy here, and I can't think of his name, but he was their key star witness.
Sure.
To refute testimony by Peretti. And I wish I knew his name. I do not know. I'm sure we could pull up a list of everyone that the Echols Baldwin.
It hardly matters. I mean, in the long and short of it.
Why are we dealing with facts? Fuck that.
Pesky facts.
Hey, we're
Fuck
just
them.
talking about shit, man. We're not trying to lay out the
Come
for
on,
trial
man.
number 3.
Damn, man. Trial number 3. We're having the trial.
Yeah, I'll
number
be
the
honest,
West Memphis. That's what the show should.
As we go along,
trial number 3.
As we go along, I would love to hear in the live chat who people actually thought.
Yeah, let's ask it now. Just start put if you have any
The
kind of
murders.
insight or know anything we don't.
Yeah.
Let us know who you think killed him.
No, I pretty much know.
This
everything
crazy
on this.
shit could entirely.
What's your thought? Who do you think
possible.
did it? You think Terry Hobbs?
We're not getting there till the end, buddy. I'm laying my
He's
whole
saving
thing out.
saving the load for the end. I got you.
Let's keep going. Then. I can't wait to see what you say.
I like those movies.
So did we get to their conviction?
No. We talked about, it was 3 weeks is all it took from the start of the jury
Hey,
thing.
wait a minute. Warren Beck makes a great point. Is that illegal to get paid for testifying?
No, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'm not going to waste my time as a doctor, go away from my practice.
Yeah, but they can subpoena you immediately. Bam.
Yeah, but he had
They
nothing
don't-
to do with it. They just need an expert. They need somebody to come in there and provide testimony with his expertise, and he gets paid for his expertise to come in and say that. Based on what I saw, my expertise and all
You
these years.
cannot pay somebody to fucking testify. Are you serious?
That's how that
That's not a
works.
thing. No. I refuse to believe
You're
that.
not getting
if there's
paid
any lawyers
for
out there,
You're not
you
getting
can't do
paid
that.
for testifying.
You're paid for the research that you did, and then you testify based on what you.
You're paid for working for them.
Basically,
You're
yeah.
working at the time. That's your job.
Right.
You got called into court. I'm at work.
That's fucked. Yeah, okay,
Fucking
so
great
here, check
gig.
this out. So
Well,
what-
go
what
to
if-
school for fucking 20 years and Jesus.
But check this out. So what if he is getting paid by them, and then he finds shit that they don't like, and he tells them before, and they're like, "Well, we don't really need your testimony."
That's
anymore.
how that works.
That's fucked.
That's the whole point.
That's fucked.
That's the point they're trying to make. If you wouldn't have found what they needed, then you would have only gotten $150 an hour for your research.
Right.
You
And
did
we-
find
and he
what
would
they
never have
needed.
been on
fucking
the
bullshit.
stand. I mean,
that's fucking bullshit. I've never known that you can do that before.
So you think that the
pay a
prosecution
fuck that.
should actually go down avenues that make their case look bad? If I'm a prosecution and my job is to make sure this guy goes to jail,
Hey, you open
it's
the can
not
of
the
fucking
truth.
worms.
The
You
prosecution's job
hired
isn't
this
to discover
motherfucker.
the truth.
You're paying this guy to check the evidence.
Am I wrong? Is
Sorry.
the prosecution's job to discover the truth or to convict?
It's to convict.
There you go. That there tell you everything you need to know.
It's
Let me
convict-
tell
it's
you
convict.
this: if they found enough evidence Jesus, I'm
Nobody's
having
job
a
there is the
terrible
truth.
time with vocably
Yeah.
today, and I have quite the
Sally
extensive.
sells
soon as you
seashells
come
by
through
the
these doors
seashore.
on a Saturday-
Sally sells seashells by the seashore.
I'm having a terrible time. If you find somebody that dispels one of your myths on a show, are you not going to do the show?
No, fuck no.
There you go.
No,
What
I
do you
mean,
mean?
if there's evidence that we talk about it. Hey, this is so like our whole general.
So when we
premise-
do a show on Bigfoot, knowing it, like 20 minutes before the show, somebody comes in and says, "No, here's exactly what you need." No, we would still do the show. Just at the end, like, "Oh yeah, by the way, here's our
blah
evidence."
blah blah.
Still doing the show though. We didn't have any time to do something else.
I can't. I just can't get my head behind paying fucking. You don't open a can of worms. It should be in the. Okay, so like, you know how you got to what do they call that? Exploration. So you're supposed to give the judge and the opposite side, like everyone that's testifying, all of your evidence and everything. What do they call it? Exploration, right? Isn't that what that is? That's the beginning of the trial. You have to give everything you have to them for them to examine in order to cross-reference and have fight.
They got to be prepared.
My cousin Vinny.
So. Yeah, there you go.
By the way,
see, I watched My Cousin Vinny. I'm a fucking lawyer. I know.
I was going to say that a minute ago. That movie really was off the mark on how Southern justice system goes. They don't.
Yeah.
Way off the mark.
Excuse
Way
me.
off.
What is a ute?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, youths.
Would you really care what the fuck the kind of pants the guy that shot you was wearing?
Man, that
You
was
know
a
what?
great
That's
Marissa Tomei.
That's made around the same time.
Pretty
as
damn
this
close.
Happened.
Yeah.
But
That's
what I'm getting
incredible.
at is, like, if you open the fucking can of worms, it should be in Discovery. Discovery, that's what's called Discovery.
Not
'cause you discover.
exploration.
Yeah,
Wow,
it's
that's
Discovery.
crazy.
So it should be in Discovery that everything that hey, here's our expert witness that we're going to have. Here's this, here's that, here's that. Because you can't allow a witness in after
You're not allowed
the
to be
fact.
surprised, but that does happen. Every now and then the judge will allow that shit to happen.
Yeah, but half the time it gets stricken. The jury is to not remember what they saw or how the fuck they
Yeah, I
ever
wonder
say
how that
that
works.
shit. You know what I mean? Just to strike that from the
Disregard,
record.
yeah.
Disregard, yeah. But it should be in Discovery. We hired this guy. He's going to be our expert witness. Regardless of what he turns up, that dude should have to testify now. He's been hired. He's the expert witness. It's on Discovery.
I disagree.
Really?
Yeah.
So they can just shit can a guy because he finds evidence for the other team.
Yeah, it's not
That's
my
bullshit.
if
It's
I'm-
justice. It's justice.
Why would
then they
justice
should
is not
hire
the
him.
job? Yeah, the defense should have found that guy and did what they did.
I'm
The
not saying I have a
prosecution-
solution to this. I'm just saying there's
Yeah,
a
you're just
problem.
outraged because you think that everybody working on this case has the same goal. And
Yep.
you think the goal in any of it is justice. No, it's get a paycheck at the end of the week.
I'm glad you see that.
The defense is there to. The defense is
Yeah.
there to raise questions. They don't have to prove their innocence. They have to prove that they didn't do it. Now,
Shadow of a
and
doubt.
I know that
Shadow of
sounds
a
the
doubt.
same thing, but it is not their job to prove they didn't do it. It is the prosecution's job.
Yeah, whatever happened to guilty
prove
until
that
or
they
innocent until
did
proven
do it.
guilty? Because in this case, it was guilty until proven innocent.
Not in
Yeah,
modern
never
day
seen
America.
that today.
Today, yeah.
Junior,
Warren Back makes a good point. You should be on jury duty. $7 a day.
$16
Yeah,
a day.
fuck that. So you know what you do to get off of jury duty? You tell them some fucking weird shit whenever they send you the thing in the mail. Like I had jury duty one
I just
time.
live off the grid.
Obama went to jury duty.
During his presidency?
No, just this
Just
week.
recently? Does he still live in Illinois?
No, I don't think
Where's he
he's in
living at?
Chicago.
He lives in Chicago. I thought he lived in Chicago.
Is he?
I thought so. I was just in Chicago in
stopped by to see,
the very beginning of
Barry?
October. No, yeah, me and
Barry.
Barry go way back. Me and El Satoro, huh? No, but I really thought that our Uber driver told us that he lived like 2 miles from where our hotel was.
Yeah, but
Maybe
those
he
Uber
did.
drivers tell
Maybe
you
he
anything.
does.
Fair. Yeah, right. No, this is coming from an Uber driver, and he didn't speak very well English.
Well,
so.
Mac, he didn't speak very well English.
On a
As
positive.
opposed
That's
to
going
you.
around.
He don't even speak English
That
good.
motherfucker don't speak American around here, man. Come on, we from West Memphis, Arkansas. You go and talk American.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to that.
Son of a gun.
We will.
Look, April agrees with me. I agree with Eric. It's supposed to be justice.
It's not
Hey,
supposed
wait a
to be
minute.
justice.
She knows Eric.
This is true.
Yeah, why would she agree with him, knowing who you are? Why would she agree with him?
Haha, because I have points sometimes. Points that make sense.
Once in a great while, you have a point, and even greater while, they make sense.
Obama's a D.C. resident now.
That's
allegedly.
That's what I thought. I think
I'm just
Warren's
giving you
right.
shit,
Oh,
man.
shut the hell up.
So in '96, Paradise Lost: The Child Murders of Robin Hood premieres. It suggests that they're wrongfully convicted. So that was the beginning of.
Shit hits the fan.
That's when shit hits the fan. That first movie alone was enough to pull the likes of Johnny Depp in.
Whose
of Eddie
idea?
Vedder.
Whose idea about the movie? Who
couldn't tell
had
you.
this as a like? Let's make a movie about these 3 kids on death row.
I'm
Or the
pretty
one on
sure
death
it was
row and 2
the defense.
indefinitely in
the
prison.
defense team, if I'm not mistaken, contacted HBO.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's true because in the retrial, that was one of the main arguments that the new
Echols.
lawyers had against the first lawyers. They fucked up by bringing HBO in the first place. That was one of his biggest problems. So
It is. Oh no! See, they don't have mother f. I wrote the wrong thing. Go ahead, keep going. Damn it!
let's see. In December of that year, the Supreme Court of Arkansas issues a decision upholding the convictions.
Because they had appealed.
Right. And then 3 years later, in June 99, the Judge Burnett of the trial, denies another petition for a new trial.
Real quick, Paradise Lost, directed by Joe Berlinger, Joe Berlinger, Bruce Sinofsky. Those were the two
filmmakers.
And yeah, music by Metallica, because they were big Metallica fans.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, too. The amount of Metallica they put in that just changed the whole tone of that, in my opinion.
Yeah, you know why? Because they considered Metallica devil worshippers in West Memphis.
You got to love the 80s, man. They had a lot of...
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense,
you got to love
actually.
the fucking 90s. Yes, the 80s to them, but the 90s in real time. I'm sorry, but this whole West Memphis, Arkansas bullshit, this whole Southern thing... really bothers me.
The one kid looked like the vampire from Lost Boys with that wavy-ass blonde hair mullet. I'm just saying, like, dude, this is...
Bill S. Preston?
Yes, exactly, yes. Alex Winters is who he looks like.
Marco.
Yeah, Marco.
But this is a Salem witch trial. This is not...
Yeah, and again, you're right. Whether or not they did it, the evidence they had, from what I can tell, was not enough.
No, and they went ahead with the conviction.
They went ahead with it. Well, not just with the conviction. They went ahead with the trial.
If you hadn't heard about this in West Memphis, which a town of, we'll find out, you would have already convicted these kids in your mind. They have interviews with people in the town. They're like, well, I don't know, but I would have convicted those boys based on everything I know. I know I would have been putting them in jail for a year. I've been putting in the electric chair.
Right, so a jury of their
$25,000.
A jury of their peers was like gonna convict them for sure. And I feel like, honestly, the media played a big part in this by putting their pictures and everything out on there and
leaking Jessie Misskelley's confession as it fucking happened.
They painted these kids out to be horrible, satanic, murdering kids. So on TV, you're looking at, you're sitting. Imagine this. What is it? 1993. You're sitting in your living room drinking a glass of fucking sweet tea or a beer at the end of the night, and you're watching 10 o'clock news and. Baby, look at these little sumbitches. They killed them 3 boys. Look at them. You know what I mean? You just don't. Back then, especially. Today, it might be a little different. Back then, especially, you just spoon-fed the news. Here, right here. Come on, bring here. Home. Really? Oh, yeah. Home. Whatever the fuck they said was law. You know what I mean? That's how it was. I really feel like that the media had a lot to do with this too, by just swaying public opinion against the kids. You know what I mean? They basically, like I said, which trial, whatever. They basically made the public. These kids were guilty before there was ever a trial.
For sure.
You know, in the public's eyes, they had no shot. It was game over.
Here's an interesting little factoid. In an interview with the Arkansas Times, Vicki Hutchinson, which she testified at the trial, says that everything she told the police was a lie and suggested that the police warned her that if she did not cooperate in their investigation, that her child would be taken away. That's kind of damning.
Say that again?
So this lying bitch who lied at the trial originally is quoted in 2003.
Confesses in west of Memphis.
To the same exact thing?
To this, what you're talking about.
She suggests that the police warned her that if she did not cooperate in their investigation, they'll take her child away. So
her exact words, I was a liar. I was a big liar.
Cock-sucking cops.
Am I wrong, though, in the feeling and belief that once a liar, always a liar?
Yes, people can change.
And we haven't brought up the prosecuting attorney, who was John Fogelman, which we'll bring him up.
Bring him up?
No, because we'll bring up.
I mean, at this rate, we're looking at a 5-hour show.
Oh, are we really? Is it that bad? I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I'm dragging you guys.
What about the Evan Williams bottle? Did you ever hear about that, Corey?
Yeah, tell us about the Evan Williams bottle. Because that's another interesting story that goes against the West Memphis Three.
Yeah.
Go ahead, boys. You guys fill me in on this one. I got to set a camera up.
This bottle again real quick. I got to find right where I was at with it. So you can actually talk about the prosecuting attorney while I'm looking for this if you'd like.
Prosecuting attorney was John Fogelman.
I'm going to grab a bottle of soda. Keep going.
Okay. This all doesn't play out until about 15 years later. Fogelman, along with Judge David Burnett, ran for office. This was basically, and same with Gitchell. Gitchell was a retiring detective. It's incredible that so many of these guys, and it's what Damien Echols points out, as I'm losing my camera. It's what Damien Echols points out. This was essentially a political run. They found these kids. They picked them out. Poor white trash. You'll never hear from them again. They'll kill Echols. End of story. Bad luck. HBO picks up the story, creates a movie. All of a sudden, you've got Eddie Vedder. All of a sudden, you've got Henry Rollins, who can relate to these kids. Johnny Depp, who can relate to these kids. It's Fogelman, in fact, ran for I've got Burnett. I know he won. Burnett, that was the big thing, and we'll get to that when we get to the retrial. And God, there's so much in West of Memphis. It's incredible. You've got to see that movie.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that tonight. I have copies of that and Devil's Knot sitting by ready to watch.
Yeah. Devil's Knot is all right.
That's a fictionalization, right? Or dramatization of it. I still want to see it. I like to see with somebody when they drama it up what they can do. I don't know.
It's not horrible.
And that Reese Witherspoon just
but
does it for
I know
me.
that I didn't need to go back and watch that because Fogelman ran for state Supreme Court in the state of Arkansas and lost. He knew what he did wrong. In fact, there was a recent case where he told the prosecution to own up to his opinion, own up to your mistakes. You know what you did wrong. But he knew that they didn't do it. You can tell he knows.
Again, it's not his job to say,
You got that right. You follow what Gary Gitchell said. You go with what evidence they give you.
Bitchell.
These are the guys.
Right. It's a whole thing that the entire county is working together. You have the police gathering the evidence to provide to the prosecution, whose entire job is to make the assumptions brought about by the police valid in court.
Yeah.
Not to find out whether or not it's true or not, whether or not they're actually innocent or guilty. It is to convict.
So what happened was they had a story. They made the evidence fit the story versus getting the evidence and then working the story from what you have.
Right.
They made the evidence fit the story. So here's one that's actually on the contrary to those guys, though. This was against, like Everett was saying, this was against it. February 8th, 1994. He put his hand on a Bible. He's talking about Jessie Misskelley. He put his hand on the Bible and swore to his attorney, Dan Stidham, that he, Damien, and Jason committed the murders. Further, he told Stidham that he was drunk on Evan Williams' whiskey during the murders, and the broken bottle could be found where he threw it on the ground under a bridge in West Memphis on his way home from the crime scene. Stidham told prosecutors he would believe his client's confession if he could find that bottle. So Stidham, the West Memphis PD, Inspector Gary Gitchell, and the prosecutors drove to West Memphis to look for it. They found a broken Evan Williams bottle in the exact area that Stidham indicated Jessie said it would be. According to the prosecutor, John Fogelman, Stidham directed the group to search the I-40 underpass nearest to Walmart. It's near the current site of Kroger.
Nearest to Walmart.
Yeah, I imagine it like Rural Road 317. You know what I mean? County Road 84.
Anyway.
Right next to the fucking Steak and Shake.
But anyway, so the men found the broken bottle in that location, further corroborating the story of the fact that Jessie mentioned this in his 2/8/94 confession that Vicki Hutchinson was the one who bought him the Evan Williams whiskey on the day of the murders. When the attorneys called Hutchinson, she confessed that
she's
did
really
indeed
trustworthy,
buy
though.
Jessie a bottle of Evan Williams on the day of the murders.
Who's already lied.
So is that the same lying chick that you're talking about?
Yep.
That's
And
the
again,
same bitch that said
if-
I was a liar.
if Jesse's fabricating
I wouldn't
stories-
have told that story then if I'd have known she was the
Yeah,
liar.
No, but you need to
God
know
damn it.
that.
If
Right.
Jesse's fabricating stories already,
So do they.
and he did have that whiskey earlier in the day, it's easy for him to go, yeah, I threw this whiskey bottle out too. Check there. You know what I mean? I'm telling you whatever I can tell you to get out of this fucking room to go home.
Fair.
So
I tell you what, I've put up with a lot of things. I'm not going to put up with underage drinking. That was my joke. Everybody get it?
Yeah, not really. I don't get where you're going with it, but I don't care.
Whatever. Shut the fuck up. Oh, I hate laughing about this. I feel bad, man. I feel bad we laughed during the Chris Benoit thing, too, and people are dead, but god damn it.
people
People
It's
die all the
just-
time, man. It's a bummer.
Okay.
Every day.
So-
Every day.
I've had a lot of people in my family die. I still laugh about it.
You were...
Just saying.
Jesus. Let's fast forward where you were taking us. You were taking us to Paradise Lost 2. We were fast forwarding that. The first one came out in 96. Did the second one come out in 99 or 2001? Somewhere
2000.
in there. 2000, okay. Look at
Paradise
that.
2
I
Revolution.
circled around it.
Or Revelations is the second one.
Yes.
And it says here in my little thing that the film suggested John Mark Byers was the actual murderer.
Perfect time to talk about this guy.
I don't think it suggested that, really.
Are you shitting me?
The second one...
He took a fucking lie detector test in the second one.
Yeah, but I don't think it was suggesting that he was the murderer. I think it shows that there was suggestion that he was, not that the film suggested it. There was...
Okay, this is when... Man, now I wish you would at least watch the second and third ones.
Yeah, I haven't seen him.
John Mark
I'll
Byers
go watch him.
appeared to me... Okay, so I watched these in succession. I automatically assumed this guy killed him. As soon as I watched the first one. Not as soon as I watched the first one. The more we got deeper into the second one. Because Damien Echols was convinced that he did it. If you can take Damien Echols' word for it, he's the one that pled guilty to their murder, which we will get to. This guy, I'm telling you, saw a camera and began to act out. You remember the first one where they're shooting the pumpkin? He's like, "Oh, Damien,
him and that other guy's
still
dead.
got you, boy. Looks like he's still squirming a bit like you
Dude, that
killed
was
my
nuts.
boy."
That was like the first in a series of all these crazy videos that guy makes.
I mean, this guy had to be on some shit.
It's off his fucking rocker.
Served time for selling pharmaceuticals to an undercover cop after this had happened. His wife died mysteriously in 1996 after they moved out of West Memphis and had problems with their neighbors, hit their kid, held a gun to two kids while they fought it out. Oh,
dude, that was the greatest story ever.
Insane shit that you can call this guy out on. I want to say, and I probably said in the show earlier, I think he's clear of everything. I'm not totally convinced there's not something there. At least maybe he knows something that he might have forgotten. Because drugs fuck you up, in case you guys didn't know.
Oh, I knew. I knew that.
Counted on it.
Yeah, that's the idea.
I am going by accounts that people have told me. I've never... That was a joke.
One time I injected him marijuana.
But this guy had so many scenes in that first movie. He had scenes in the second movie. He gave testimony on camera, did a lie detector test on camera, and when the test came back and it all proved that he was telling the truth, he celebrated like he won the fucking Super Bowl, which makes me think I have never celebrated telling the truth. I'd have been like, yep,
like
fucking told you.
Yeah, like
he's
one
like,
of those chicks on Maury, I told you was a daddy. Woo, God damn it. You know?
Seriously.
Yeah. It's like found out that like
Kobe's I knew I fucked her
Kobe's
9 months ago or 10 months ago, but
yeah, probably ain't mine.
Yeah. What? He's that guy.
Wow.
Out of his fucking gourd.
Yeah, that sounds fucking crazy.
I know you're looking up something there over there.
Oh, I'm totally off the marker here on what you guys are doing. I'm looking for after the show shit right now.
Piece of shit.
No, I'm setting up the hangouts.
Am I really making you guys go this long?
Fact warning. No,
you're not making it. This
fact
is just
warning.
the way this one goes.
Drugs mess you up. That's true. We're not condoning any sort of drug use here, so don't get that vibe from us.
I condone some drug use.
Well, that depends on what you consider a drug.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, there's that. But yeah, so I mean,
you guys have given up on the show. You're
not
like,
at
this
all.
is too
Not at all.
fucking long.
Not at all. But so they did end up getting out though, right?
Yeah, let's go
we're
into
skipping way ahead. Let's go.
I mean, barely anything happened in that 10-year period while they were in jail from 2000 to
They
2010.
had a couple different tries where they appealed and it got shut
shit
down.
on, right?
Judge David Burnett.
Ought to the Devil's Knot came out.
That guy's great.
Judge David Burnett eventually ran for Senate in District 15. And he was elected, which was the best thing that could have happened because that meant a new judge was going to hear their retrial hearings.
Good, not the same old one, huh?
Not the one who kept fucking them and said, "Oh, we've got DNA evidence," and he said,
"No,
it doesn't matter."
Yeah, I won't allow it. Fuck him. Fuck that guy. Miscarriage of justice for sure.
For show.
When DNA collected from evidence collected at the crime scene is tested, none is
Microphone.
found to match the DNA of Echols, Baldwin, or Misskelley. The hair in the knot used to tie up one of the victims is found to be not consistent with Terry Hobbs, stepfather of Stevie Branch. Let's talk about Terry Hobbs.
Let's talk about Terry Hobbs.
Terry Hobbs was a stepfather of one of the murdered children. And
Stevie Branch.
And
his mom is the one that was doing that crazy shit with the news, like, "Oh my God, I'm getting ready to be on TV."
No, is that the one that said she wanted to bang their heads in and kick them? And
no,
she was. No. Who was that on? That was Byers. One of the kids' mom.
She was insane.
That disturbed me. I was like, oh, fuck, man.
A lot of people thought Mark killed her, too. He found her dead, supposedly in the bed one morning. She died in her sleep. A lot of people thought he killed her. And
No
Liars, infidels, and morons. I hope y'all burn in hell.
Oh,
Let's
man.
see.
So what's the premise behind that? Why do people think that he did that? Why do people think that he was responsible for his stepson's
I love my
death?
wife more than any man could love his wife on the face of the earth.
That's him.
I'd have died for her.
He does
I
not help his
took
case.
care of her. She was my life.
He's drunk right now, right? He has to be. He won't talk like
I
that.
didn't do anything but love her. And for all you sick son of a bitches out there that think I had anything to do with her life, go to hell!
Slobbering every fucking where.
I'd like to hang out with him for an afternoon.
I'll pass.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way.
That's too much.
I tell you what, the mullet, it's something that reigns supreme in West Memphis, Arkansas.
What's his name? Baldwin had the rockin' ass mullet, but he cut it off before the
Salty
trial.
mullet.
Did he?
Yeah,
Miss
badass.
Kelly's was pretty fucking gnarly. That was just.
Yes.
he
he
had
had
some
the
good
lines.
Yeah,
he had the
lines
waves,
inside.
dude. He had the waves.
This is legit, man.
Mm-hmm. That was a good ass mullet there. Almost curly in the back.
It was. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, fucking just like, what are you doing with your head? Shave
Maybe
that
he
shit.
just
It was the
permanently-
late 80s, early 90s. Come on, man. That's shit went down that way.
Right,
beautiful
I had a
Bobby
rat
Eaton.
tail.
You gonna yell at people in the 70s for wearing bell bottoms? I mean, they can't hear you. 30 years, 40 years ago.
He can't hear you.
You're gonna
Ric
yell-
Flair had some beautiful fucking hair for a mullet, though. I'll tell you, Ric Flair had the
You
didn't
mullet.
have a mullet.
You're going to yell at Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty for having the best mullets ever?
Maybe Marty Jannetty.
Maybe Jannetty. He's
No,
probably
probably
on some
not
of the
Shawn
shit. I think
Michaels,
he's
though.
from the same town.
Good Lord.
Shit. The Rockers.
The Rockers.
Remember when he got thrown through the window?
Of course. Barbershop.
Yeah, the barbershop. That's right. I remember that.
Where were we?
The stepfather. The stepfather. Why do people think he did it?
Well, I can give you about 40 fucking reasons.
I'm willing to hear 39.
Number one, this is number one. I'll just give you reasons in no particular order. So a strand of hair is found in the knot that kills these kids.
Right.
This is another reason I have a problem finding that kids did this. These knots in these shoelaces. I mean, and it is proven, it's a fact that the kids were not dead until they were submerged in water. So until their
They had water in their lungs?
yes.
Okay.
Until they were in there and their heads had been bashed in, something went terribly wrong, and that's why I think Terry Hobbs did it. I think I'll bring her up. She goes by the name
Don't let that bitch off.
Jamie Ballard, a neighbor, says specifically she saw Terry Hobbs telling the boys to come to him that evening after Hobbs said he never saw the boys. So they're riding bikes by her house. She's a neighbor. And said, "Come on with me." And I'm guessing. I take that back. I'm not guessing. This is after he had dropped his wife off at work, and he said he never saw them, but she definitely saw them. Has anybody got anything on Jamie Ballard?
No.
No, not.
She's
I
a
don't think
female. Well, I'm just saying Jamie could be a man or a woman's name.
Right.
Yeah, I got nothing
But-
on her in my notes, actually.
Terry Hobbs says he was with David Jacoby, and if you watch West of Memphis, David Jacoby is crying, knowing he's been set up as his alibi. Said that he was with David Jacoby looking for the boys all night. David Jacoby's like, he came over and played guitars with me for an hour. That's it. That's it.
What was the chick's name?
Jamie Ballard.
Man, she is. I just can't find her in here.
She's in West of Memphis. If you haven't seen the movie, see West of Memphis. It is, I believe, Damien Echols was a producer on the movie.
He was.
But they go into deep detail on Jacoby. It leaves a 2-hour gap where Hobbs is unaccounted for, and he's set up as his alibi, like I said. And like I said, the boys had skull fractures, brain injuries, but were alive. Another thing. Hobbs did, and this sounds so stupid, but Hobbs did a bunch of laundry that night. He was seen cleaning, and he had never been seen cleaning
That's not
the house
stupid.
before.
That's not stupid at all because if he just fucking murdered somebody, I mean, you got to do the laundry, man. Got to take the trash out.
A knife that Stevie Branch had, who is his stepson, is found in Terry Hobbs's possession a knife that Pam Hobbs said Stevie Branch had up until the day he died. He said he was just acting, and this all came. He said he had it till the day she said he had it till the day he died. The Dixie Chicks play a part in this. Yes, the Dixie Chicks, those Dixie Chicks. He sued the Dixie Chicks for defamation.
Really? Did he win?
No. What he did was...
Yeah, Natalie, what's her name, is real adamant about...
Is it Reams?
I got it here somewhere.
I think it's Reams, R-E-A-M-E-S. But what he did by doing that is he set himself up to be deposed on what happened that night. And if you watch West of Memphis, this guy looks so guilty. It's incredible. And I think they had him on a couple of occasions. If they had an investigator or a private eye or a police officer in there just questioning him, and if you watch his questioning, they just are all like, hey, we know you didn't do it. Let's come on. What happened?
They should have put him through the same shit they put Jessie through, I feel like.
They should have put every family member through the shit.
They should put everybody they talked to through the exact same thing.
So how did Hobbs? How did he explain away the knife? If his mother said that Steve had it all, little Stevie had that knife all the way up till the day he died, and it was in Hobbs' possession, how did Hobbs explain away the knife?
You know, I was just being a good parent.
Well, he took it away.
Taking away his knife, and that was it.
In
Okay, yeah, fuck that
2007,
guy.
they actually did do you guys know about the DNA test they did in 2007, which had no evidence of any Echols, Baldwin, Misskelley blood on it?
Yeah, the DNA collected from evidence occurred at the crime scene is tested. None is found to match the DNA of Echols,
Right.
Baldwin, or Misskelley. A hair found in the night used to tie up one of the victims is found to be not consistent with Terry Hobbs, stepfather of Steve Branch. John Mark Byers tells the media that he now believes 3 young men convicted were innocent. At a Little Rock rally,
Yeah, that's
Dixie
whenever he
Chick
finally
singer-
changed his tune.
It
Dixie
had a
Chick singer-
1.9% chance of being anyone else but Terry Hobbs.
Really? How do you come up with that number? That's the DNA?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. But yeah, so at that point it's not conclusive.
So
though.
98.1% of people were excluded except for Terry Hobbs.
Yeah,
which is
Terry
not
Hobbs
enough.
was part of the 1.8%, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So no, it's not enough. Not enough because there's a reasonable doubt, and
Well, a year later, Burnett denies again a request for a retrial in 2008, September 10th, that holding that the DNA evidence produced by the defendants was inconclusive. In 2010, November 4th, a full 2 years later, the Supreme Court orders a trial court judge to determine whether newly discovered DNA evidence or evidence of juror misconduct justifies either a new trial or exoneration of the 3 defendants. Fucking Burnett, man. That guy's a piece of work. He's just completely unwilling to hear anything else from the date of the trial for the next 20 years, pretty much. He's
yeah,
like,
but think about
not only that, he seems bothered by it every time he gets asked about it.
because that would just put the biggest smudge on his entire career. This is
There
the
you go.
biggest case of this entire county's existence. This is their proverbial 15 minutes of fame.
15
Right here.
years.
You know what I'm saying? This is so why would he want his self to look bad? The whole country, the whole world is watching these movies. They're everywhere. So yeah, no, I'm not. No, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. I'm
Don't
not,
reopen it.
Hell no.
Well, 9
He
months
knows
after
he
that,
fucked
though.
up. They know they fucked up.
9 months after the Supreme Court orders a trial judge to determine that, they are released, following a deal in which the 3 men agree to admit guilt on the murder charges while still maintaining their innocence, which is called the...
Alfred plea. It's an
Right.
Alfred deal. It's a very, very, very rare deal that happens where you can plead guilty to the crime. And what it exactly, let's call it for what it is. This is the way a state saves money from being sued for wrongful imprisonment is what it is.
part
So
of it.
Can't do a
And
civil
face.
suit.
yeah, no civil suits there because you've pled guilty and you still maintain your innocence. So it doesn't taint you either, but it definitely doesn't taint the state for wrongfully imprisoning you. It's called the Alfred plea deal. It's only been used very, very few times, and it was used in this case. And you know, I watched a video of Damien Echols, and they asked him, well, if you weren't guilty of this, why did you plead guilty? This man was on death row.
At this point, he's a 37-year-old
He
man.
had not seen sunlight in a period of 10 years. Okay, this guy was in complete solitary confinement.
And apparently
being
he had been
raped.
serial raped for a
Had been
year.
serial raped for a year in prison.
Developed arthritis.
This was his only way to get out. He was on death row, mind you. You know what happens on death row? They don't call it death row because it's fucking sunshine and daisies, okay? You go and you get put to death on death row. Sorry, I have to make that
After
obvious.
20, 30 years in some cases. But
But he was on death row. So they're offering this chance. Say you're guilty. Just say you're guilty. Oh, wait, you can still maintain your innocence, but you have to plead guilty, and we'll let you out right now with time served and a suspended 10-year sentence. fucking make it happen. I'm out.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, done. Game over. So now they cannot sue the state.
You're not going to kill me. I'll say whatever you want me to say, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, it's like you're giving me a deal.
Jason Baldwin turned it down originally.
Yeah, that's dumb. Whose principles are any of your guys' principles strong enough to let you die?
No.
You know Damien Echols' take on it.
What's that?
Jason Baldwin had gotten used to prison life, and he was
institutionalized.
in school.
Yeah,
he was in school. He was doing well in school. He was getting ready to start another year of school. This is where they had kind of a disagreement, or he kind of took shots at him.
Sure.
But in the end, he did it to save Echols. So
I wonder now. See, here's something I don't know. I wonder if they all three had to plead at the same time.
Had to.
Okay, so this was not an individual. You can plead out on this plea deal, but these dudes are still in if
Which
they
again,
don't want
that
to.
right there adds to the bullshit of the whole thing. It's different trials, different people.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Because see, so if Damien Echols gets out because he's on death row and he takes the deal, these two dudes don't get out. They take the deal, but their lawyer ends up proving them innocent. Now they can sue the state, but Damien can't.
Couldn't
it
do
probably
it.
had to be all three at once, right?
Couldn't do it. Yep, one or all of them or nothing. So that was it. So they said that's where they laid the groundwork. And we'll get to, I guess, more shit.
So they got out. I mean, that's how they did it. They got out because of this bullshit plea bargain that negated all of the responsibility of the state being responsible for the wrongful imprisonment, and it just said.
And these guys having served 15 years plus.
And these guys having served 15 years. It was a deal. It was like basically, we didn't fuck up. You didn't kill nobody. We're gonna split our ways. That's it. That's it. You can't sue me. I'm not fucking with you. It's over. Game over.
Again, if you watch West of Memphis, they do the Supreme Court hearings, and they have film of the Supreme Court hearings. David Ropp, the senior district attorney in Arkansas, argued that you couldn't have finality of a hearing if you reintroduce Arkansas. Here's what you have to know about going to Arkansas. Don't ever do anything because they're going to fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can't introduce DNA. You can't introduce anything. That's what they're arguing. That's insane. If you can prove somebody's innocent of a crime and they don't want to reintroduce it.
I think that the general feeling of everyone that was involved, they knew they fucked up.
Yeah.
10 years after the fact. So they've already put these kids away, and they're like, shit's starting to come back up. The movie comes out. Go the fuck away. Yes, please go away. You are just going to make me look terrible. I mean, think about that. You're the prosecuting attorney. You've made your career on the West Memphis 3 case.
Fair.
And now
been
these
elected
people,
to office.
Yeah, there you go. And now coming out, you fucked up. The biggest case of your career that made you popular, gave you your 15 minutes of fame. You fucked up. Go away. How much you want? Matter of fact, how much you want? You know what I'm saying?
Doesn't seem real fair.
No, hell no.
Last time I checked, anyway. But that's what I.
You're not wrong, dude. You're not wrong.
No, but I am an asshole.
No, that's not. Yeah, it has nothing to do with it, but yeah.
Right.
Anyway, what else you guys got on this case? We could talk about for days about all the celebrities that Echols is hanging out with, all the press he's doing.
Yeah,
these days.
So here's some weird shit. Him and Johnny Depp that have so Johnny Depp's like
you're gonna get into the occult
his savior.
shit.
Yeah, a little bit, not a lot. I'm not gonna really hammer on the occult about it, but they share 3 similar tattoos: a hand, a wrist, and an arm tattoo. There's another. Peter Jackson, the director, has one of the tattoos as well. There's just some weird shit. It's like, why did everybody take? Okay, maybe he was innocent. But why did everybody take this kid's fucking side? There's like, if you follow the Hollywood shit, everyone's a pedophile and a Satanist in Hollywood, and it's like, oh hey, here's this guy. He was fucking diddling these little kids and killed them. He says he's into Satan. Let's get him out. He's our people. You know what I mean? So you got Johnny Depp and fucking Eddie Vedder and all the guys like, yeah, get this dude out of here. Play Metallica during the movie. So it goes to the whole Satan.
What are you getting at here?
Nothing.
Okay, I was wondering where you're going with this.
Pepe, what do you call him?
Pepe Sylvia. So it's a red herring. Is what you're saying?
It's a red herring.
Red herring.
Anyway.
Big red herring.
I wish I could smoke in the studio. You know what I mean? Because I could really get some shit done if I was smoking cigarettes right now. I'm telling you. Asshole. Okay, scumbag. Not okay. So you are good, Eric. Wait, what?
Who knows? We'll come back and look at that shit later. Anyway, you got anything else on this one?
I sure don't, man.
Let's kill this before Corey gets back. Now, I want to thank Corey for being on the show.
Yeah,
today.
Corey
It's
did a
always
great
fun.
job. Corey had a lot of interesting points too.
It's always nice to have somebody on the show who really cares about the topic and he wants to talk about it, which is generally not me. So it was nice. What's so funny?
Cool. Maybe Corey doesn't get what we're trying to do here.
Just being honest. Next week, what are we doing? Any idea?
I do not have an idea yet. I know Princess Di's been hot. We skipped Die for CERN. We've got some ideas. We've got a lot of shit on the chopping block, to be honest with you. We've got a lot of ideas that we could go through and do. I really dig these true crime. I really dig these true crime episodes. This is our third one. We of course had the Chris Benoit, the Seth Rich, and now the West Memphis Three. And I really dig them because it forces me to dig in deeper than just like and because like most conspiracies.
That's the exact reason I hate them.
Really?
Anyway, because it forces me to dig deep.
Well, right, because on a true crime episode, you can't just you have to go down into it. You have to, you know what I'm saying? You can't just say, yeah, they fucking this and that, and it's game over.
You can look at the surface of it, and then you're just going to come up with exactly what the judge said.
Right, it's less speculating, more fact in a true crime episode than.
Well, there's a lot of opinion here.
Well, no, you're right. There is a lot of opinion. There's a lot of shit, a lot of ins and outs, a lot of who's and what's.
A lot of what have yous.
What have yous. There you go.
All right. Yeah, we decided while you were gone to kill the episode. Unless you got anything else you want to add.
Oh, I think Terry Hobbs did it.
Terry Hobbs, I'm gonna tweet him later on today and tell him that SmartDog78 says you did it, and I agree.
Okay, so do we need to email him to tell him what Twitter is, or
we might? I think they figured that out down there.
No, they call that Tweeter.
Oh, Tweeter. He's got a Tweeter.
That's Tweeter, the bird one.
The bird one.
The bird one. That's Tweeter.
Anyway, things real quick. Things we didn't bring up is that it was revealed as the Hobbs family secret by Blake Sisk and Cody Gott that they took lie detector tests and it was told they were telling the truth. I mean, there's a ton of shit.
You could spend a week or two just watching YouTube videos and those movies, just catching up with it. There's a lot to it. At the end of the day, I've only had a week's worth of exposure and research to it. I've gone back and forth with they did it, they didn't do it. I honestly don't know. Hopefully they didn't do it and didn't get away with murder and got let out.
Yeah, but see, there's people like me, like Johnny Depp, like in those guys. You know, that's how they classify me. Like
you're a lot like Johnny. When I think of like who do I know like Johnny
Not enough
Depp,
bracelets.
You're the first person that goes to mind.
Not enough rings.
It's true. He's missing the jewelry.
Johnny Depp's
Eddie Vedder.
He's a hip motherfucker. He's a hip guy.
He's a hip lady.
Are you with Terry Hobbs or who are you guys with? You
Honestly,
think they did it?
I think they did it. My personal opinion, I think they did it.
It could have been Terry Hobbs. It could have been, and honestly, it could have been Byers. I doubt it.
Don't get me wrong.
I don't know.
Love the idea of the justice system fucking up and these guys getting, that's the story. You know what I mean? Like that's like the whole thing.
Well, that's what gets you hot is the fact that these kids got fucked over by the system.
Exactly.
Which you hate the system.
I hate the system. Yeah. So don't get me wrong.
In Hillbilly Heaven.
The story of it is very, very attractive. Like these young misguided youths get wrongly accused of murder, and then they get set free, happy ending. It's a very solid fucking story. You know what I mean? I just don't buy it. And that's my personal opinion. I can't tell you why. I just don't. I think the fuckers did it. Actually, I think Damien Echols was totally involved, responsible. Whether or not he coerced them other two kids into helping him or told them, if you fucking tell anybody, I'll kill you. Whatever the case may be, they were in on it. There was a pact, a death pact.
If that was
maybe.
the case, then why would
Maybe
Jason Baldwin have changed his story? Like whenever it was time to do that Alfred plea to save Damien, if he thought Damien did it, I don't think he would have give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, let
because
Damien
you heard
die.
Corey just right there. He says they all have to do it at the same time. They don't want to spend in jail for another fucking 200 years.
The one was
saving fucking Damien or spending 200 years in jail. I'm saving his ass so I can get out too.
Listen to what Corey said. He was institutionalized at that point. The only reason he changed his mind and decided to take it, going from what Corey said, to save Damien.
Which is what Damien said, right? Or is that what?
No, I think they had to call. I believe Eddie Vedder called him and said, I'm not one to debate any man's principles or make them change how they feel. But, if you do this, you are hoping for a retrial. And what are the chances they're going to let 3 convicted child killers out of jail after another trial? What are the possibilities?
Yeah, it's almost zero.
Not fucking good.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's good that he did it. It's terrible because they've pled guilty to that Alfred plea thing is horse
it's fucked,
shit.
isn't it? It's horse.
It's all to make. And the attorney said after they had seen, he said, I've gone through all the evidence, and he believes the West Memphis Three are guilty. He says this after he gives them the Alfred plea to get them out of fucking prison. So, really? Is that what you believe? You believe they're guilty, but you gave them the Alfred plea? Your fucking idea?
So, if one could say,
Not
he
his
was
idea.
under...
I take that back. Prosecutor, defense attorneys, go ahead.
So, if one could say he was under so much, people were pushing all the celebrities
Scrutiny.
and everything. Yeah, it was under scrutiny, so he had to do this. But I'll tell you what, if you're in that sort of position and you can abandon your values because of peer pressure or pressure from, anything short of saying, which, you're fired, anything short of that, if you're still going to keep your job, you should do what's right. That's the job that you signed up to do. You're
so naive. You're so naive, man. That's not the way it
like
works.
how so?
Like, nobody's going to fucking shit on themselves like that. Especially anybody who's got a 30-year career and they're looking for retirement. They're not going to be like, yeah, I was wrong. I'll give you the chance to ruin my career.
Exactly.
It's never going to happen.
No, it's not. That's
why you think it should be that way is because you want everything to be tied up nice and clean. That's not how life works.
I think it's funny that
Would you ever turn yourself in like that? Say, like, you fucked something up. Nobody's doing that. It just doesn't work that way.
No, I'm not going to do that.
So quit
No,
expecting
not
other
at
people
all.
to do it. You hypocrite.
I can expect them all I want.
Hypocrite. Naive hypocrite.
I think it's funny that the Burnett guy runs for state senate and they were like rooting for him, like, yeah, get him the fuck.
This guy stands
get
for
him-
justice.
Yeah, get
Stands
him
for
off
justice,
the,
see?
Get him off the bench. And then Fogelman runs and gets his ass whooped because he was the prosecuting attorney. But whatever. Yeah, I know you guys are done with this.
Whatever, indeed. Yeah, we're done with it. All right. If you guys are watching right now, get us on Hangouts. Go to the group right now. I just put up a little thing. Give me your email address. I'll send you an invite to the Hangout. Me and Eric will be around for at least 5-10 minutes, sit and talk with you guys. We're going to try to do this every week just to get together after the show.
Can I stay?
Oh,
If you
yeah.
want to. Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Cool.
So we'll get that going here in a few minutes. Otherwise, catch us next week. Go on to the group, Surreal Talk. The Surreal Talk group on Facebook is facebook.com/groups/Surreal Talk group. Find us on Twitter at twitter.com/Surreal Talk show. Facebook.com/Surreal Talk podcast, maybe?
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know. Just Google Surreal Talk. You'll find us.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not
good
that.
enough.
Yeah, every platform, every podcast outlet, all of it. Just
Surreal,
go Surreal Talk.
two R's, EAL. You know, it's
And
pretty
then
easy.
talk.
And then
Hopefully
talk.
you can spell talk.
Indeed.
If not, you're
all right,
from
we'll
West
catch you guys all
Memphis.
next week. Quit the rambling.
West Memphis?
West Memphis. We's
No,
out.
we don't have a topic for next week. We'll discuss it in Hangouts, though.
Ooh. See you.
What'd you say, Everett?
Stream will be up for just a second.
That's fine. That's fine.
Bye.
Stop. Okay, recording is over.
Recording is over, huh?
Get on Google Hangout, y'all.
Y'all, that was my southern y'all. When am I not in it? I wonder how I'm in
Here's
it.
a better idea. Stay the fuck out of Arkansas. I agree.
What do I have to do, Everett?
Are you in that Google Hangouts web page? Go over to the left where it says Surreal Talk.
Yeah, I'm here.
Click that and then hit the video button on the top right area, I think.
Sorry, I made it long. I apologize.
What'd you do?
No, it's good. We like to have long shows from time to time. Who am I calling? I'm calling Everett, Joshua, and Warren.
Bjorn Fanner Bjornsson is a new subscriber.
Somebody answered.
Hi, new subscriber.
What's going on?
Oh shit, that's on the thing. All right, stream. We'll catch you guys next time. We're over on Hangouts.
Oh, all right. Hang on, Josh. Gotta kill the stream.